my guidance counselor. He was not happy. Listen, you're never going to make a living doing that. You got to plan on doing something else. Georgie, if she's quiet, maybe just jog a mile and a half and come off the backside. I had worked a couple of years out of high school. I'd been on the track, and my dad said to me, my dad owned some horses, and he said, listen, if this is what you're going to do, I'm going to help you get started. I was going to be 20 in May, so I went and got my trainer's license. And I started in 1980 at Finger Lakes, training horses. And when you're there, you do everything. I did everything but ride. I went to Florida when I was training after my 5th year. And, towards the end of the spring, got a phone call from Bill Wilmot and said, listen, there's an opening at Woody Stevens looking for an assistant trainer. I drove over to Hialeah and then met Woody. And long story short, he hired me. I called up my dad and said, Dad, I'm not coming home. A couple weeks went by, and I think he realized it was what I knew was the greatest opportunity I was ever going to get. I always said I came to New York 35 years ago to go to work for Woody. Good, Georgie. And I'm very fortunate to be able to have stayed and make it work. Woody wrote a book while I was there. It's titled Guess I'm Lucky. I guess how appropriate, because I'd say the same thing. I'm lucky. I've been really fortunate in the sport. Really good clients. Been lucky to have some good horses. Great staff, a lot of great employees. It makes it a lot of fun to do this, to do something that you love to do. Experience a place like Saratoga. I guess I'm lucky too.
Trainer David Donk getting ready with Funky Monkey Stables. One Track Mine, first-time starter, filly by Mineshaft. As we saw Dave Donk with a nice 2-year-old firster winning a couple weeks ago here.
Yeah, we did. David Donk in his day is some good 2-year-olds early in their career. He had a horse named Ordway. Might have lost his debut to a Wayne Lucas horse, but he ended up winning the Champagne later that year.
We'll see what this New York bred filly has to offer. Looks like, according to the board, they all have to get around Ready AP, debuting for trainer Christophe Clement. New York bred filly by More Than Ready, as we'll talk more about her and the rest of the field as we kick off the late pick 5 from beautiful Belmont Park after this.
Be a part of the Racing Action Saturdays at Belmont Park with live money contests available online through Naira Bets. A $300 buy-in adds $200 to your contest account, while the other $100 funds the cash prize pool paid through 10th place. Follow along with the races on America's Day at the Races while keeping track of your leaderboard standings on Naira Bets. After the contest, your bankroll and prize winnings are shifted back into your Naira Bets account to start betting or withdraw. Register to play today at nairabets.com/contests.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Welcome to McMahon Thoroughbreds. I'm Joe McMahon. This is my wife, Ann. We're the proprietors of the McMahon Thoroughbred Farm. We've been here for 50 years. This farm here was 88 acres back then. It's now over 800 acres.
McMahon Thoroughbreds is the birthplace of Funnyside, the winner of the 2003 Kentucky Derby and Preakness.
This area has become popular for horse farms because of its proximity to Saratoga Racetrack and the sales, to the extent that now we have 4 major horse farms right within a few miles of here. There's Mill Creek Farm, there's Rick Burke's Irish Hill Farm, there's Quest Royal North, as well as McMahon Thoroughbreds. Probably more importantly than those large farms, there's lots of mom and pop farms with 1 or 2 mares in the backyard. The area has really come into its own in the last 20 years.
I measure success by the quality of the New York breds that are now raised in New York State. With this fantastic breeding program, out-of-staters have been lured into the state, bringing better stock, better stallions.
Currently, we have a horse here called Central Banker. He's pretty successful. He's very popular.
We're getting a much better product to race in New York.
And our friends at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds, breeders of the #1 in this upcoming race, Helen's Spirit. For more information on the New York Bred program, go to nybreds.com. Helen's Spirit, affiliated by Upstart, who started off with some pretty impressive 2-year-olds last summer. Let's see how this crop of 2-year-olds does this year.
Yeah, $5,000 yearling purchase from Upstart. Probably not a great sign.
5-1 on the board right now. So take a look at your heavy favorite, Ready AP.
We'll see. The dam wasn't a bad runner, but she's had 2 foals, both with very strong, powerful sires, and neither one of them could run a step.
Very short price favorite as we look at another first-time starter, Princess in Paradise from Mike Maker.
I respect Mike Maker with this horse. Chipping here is a New York bred. There's more turf on the dam side, but she produced a foal that was okay on the dirt.
Yeah, out of a mare who was precocious too. She won it too, though she was a turf winner. Here's Dave Donk's horse, One Track Mine.
Yeah, there's probably a little more turf in the dam side pedigree on this one as well.
11-1 on that one right now. As we take a look at the #5, Sweet Sugar Baby, coming down from the Finger Lakes for Jeffrey Englehart.
Worked 10 1/5 of the 2-year-old sale, and I actually thought this horse's work was pretty solid.
Yes.
Not much pedigree, but the work was good at the 2-year-old sale.
Absolutely. See what she does on debut as the lone experienced runner in the field. Debuted at Parks. Here's Darn That Song.
Yeah, I picked this one. I like horse with experience. It was just 8 days ago. And listen, they got a race into this horse, and now they come against the New York Breds for a much, much bigger purse. $30,000 more actually. Almost just about 2/3 higher than the last purse. So this is the race to win. I like the experience, and right now a very good price. May drop down, but is a significant 3rd choice in doubles.
Well, Naira Bets is hosting a live money handicapping contest on Saturdays during the Monmouth Park meet. You just have 2 of them left. Just remember that. That features our racing from Belmont. It's a $300 buy-in and cash prize pool, as well as seats into next week's $300 contest. Registration ends at 5 p.m. on Friday. Visit naira.com/contests to register to play. The #6, Darn That Song, for our Sugar Bear stable. It was curious, and I had kind of mentioned this to you in the break, Andy. She was working down at Gulfstream until the end of May with Fernando Abreu. For those not familiar, the brother to Jorge Abreu, who we see quite a bit here in New York. She shipped up, worked once at Belmont, and then hit this debut at Parks, where she was all slow.
Yeah, I mean, she broke a little slowly in here. She sort of got herself into good position after that. But, you know, now she draws an outside post, and Bruce Brown knows what he was doing. I wonder if he knew this race was coming up, and he still got the race endorsed 8 days ago. She was beaten by horses that were able to be much more forwardly placed in here. The winner was a 4-5 first-time starter. The speeds ran 1-2. I thought it was a respectable effort. I mean, obviously, when you have a first right now for Christophe Clement that's 4-5, there's a chance that horse is pretty good, and a horse like a 6 isn't likely to beat that one. But I don't mind taking a shot with this one. I'll bet a little money to win on Darn That Song, and I'll make a 2-6 exacta.
Darn That Song. Looked like she was getting out a little bit in that debut. Certainly should benefit from having the experience, but a heavy favorite, Ready AP at 4-5 is welcome in trackside. Richard Migliori. 2-year-olds always fun, Richie, and we have a very short price favorite here.
Very short price favorite, and she's a lovely filly. What a real pretty, good-looking filly, and smart. You could see the way she was kind of taking everything in the paddock, very clear-eyed. Sometimes it's not just enough to have ability. You also have to have the right mental attitude, and she certainly had that mental attitude. I asked Christophe about how she was out of the starting gate. Always a question with first-timers because they've never had to deal with the kickback they have to deal with if they don't break particularly well in the afternoon. They can be schooled behind horse in the morning. The kickback, the dirt, does not get thrown back nearly as hard, so it's a completely different experience in the afternoon. He said, well, my son Miguel had her in Saratoga, and he broke her from the gate there. He feels like she'll be fine, but he said he only had her here for the one work after Miguel had her up in Saratoga. And we've seen Miguel do very good work out of Saratoga. The 5, Sweet Sugar Baby, kind of liked her look. I lean towards the Mission Impassibles. I just think they have a particular look. He stamps his offspring. I thought this filly had a nice look to her. I asked Jeffrey Englehart about her. I said, Jeffrey, you got a string in Finger Lakes. She's been training in Finger Lakes. What's the thought process about bringing her around down here? He said she belongs here. She's trained extremely well, and she's been very, very quick, very precocious out of the starting gate, according to her trainer, Jeffrey Englehart. And the fact that he would have had options to, send her up there, to race her up there, makes me think that she must have shown him enough to ship her down here for more money. And thinking she's competitive. The 6 Darn That Song has that race under her belt, the only one with experience in the field. She broke slowly that day. Bruce Brown says he just needs her to break better, particularly with the outside post. He thinks, she has a bit more of a chance to get her feet underneath her, and he's hoping that she can show more speed and maybe, as he put it, throw some kickback at the first-time starters. Ultimately, I couldn't get away from the 2 Ready AP. She's just too classy an individual in the paddock, bred by Chester and Mary Broman, and we've seen them breed many a good New York bred over the years.
Oh, that's so true, Richie. Thank you. Chester and Mary Broman have just a consistent print on this New York bred breeding scene. Obviously, we look at the likes of Mr. Buff, who we've all become so accustomed to, but continuing on to see their breeding program throughout the state of New York and the legacy that they've left too.
Well, they've had multiple Grade 1 winners. Artemis Agriterra has had a couple of good foals as well, including Chestertown, but also Bar of Gold, who won the Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint on the dirt a few years ago. So they've been, huge in the game and huge supporters of racing here at Naira, but very much the New York bred program as well. But they're one of many people that are huge contributors to racing in the New York bred program. And I know that, people sometimes like to criticize New York bred program. I am not one of them. They produce very good horses, and we have some very, very interesting races throughout the year in the New York Breds. They're a big part of our program, and I, for one, am happy for it and have a lot of respect for it. And an interesting horse race can come, whether they're state breds or not. To knock them because they're state breds is foolish.
Look at the New York bred in the Belmont Stakes and Run Happy Travers last year, and 'tis the law. We have the New York bred fillies starting here. Richie on the favorite, Ready AP. Andy with the experience, Darn That Song to the outside as they head into the starting gate. We send it up now to Frank Miramati on the mic for the 2-year-old fillies here at Belmont.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Awkward beginning for the heavily favored Ready AP. And it's a quick one for Sweet Sugar Baby. Tackled immediately by Darn That Song. And these two speed a length clear of One Track Mine in third. Ready AP is now rushing into contention, taking the 3rd spot around the far turn. Another 2 back to Princess in Paradise, and Helen Spirit is at the back of the field. Darn That Song opens up on Sweet Sugar Baby. Ready AP moves into second. The opening quarter went in 23 and 2/5 seconds. It's Darn That Song in front, pursued by Ready AP within 3/4 of a length second. Princess in Paradise making a wide, 3-wide move, in fact, into third. One Track Mind racing in between horses fourth as they reach the top of the stretch, and Ready AP has quickly put away Darn That Song in a dazzling debut. Ready AP pouring it on has opened up 6, 7 lengths. Sweet Sugar Baby trying to rally up the inside, but a no doubt about it sparkling debut for Ready AP. One Track Mind was second. Sweet Sugar Baby third. Darn That Song was fourth.
Ready AP, the favorite, gets the job done, wrapped up down to the wire, although she did not get off to the best start, Andy, but she really showed a lot of class out there on the track under Luis Saez as the West Point partners very happy with this victory.
As they should be. I don't think it came up a particularly fast race, but she didn't break out of the gate, and she was able to sort of facilely get herself into position. She stalked the 6-horse Darn That Song, who did break well, tired late and finished 4th, but she won quite easily. She may well have found the right field. The competition will get stronger going forward, but she got the job done. She got it done impressively and ran to her 3-5 despite blowing the break.
And we talked about Dave Donk and his 2-year-olds. He ended up finishing second with One Track Mine under Manny Franco. That one closing to grab second as we saw the 6 Darn That Song fading in there. 2, 4, 5, 6, 3-5 Ready AP went off of. She finished up easily, but at the start, not the best beginning for her. You can see her front just kind of covered in dirt as she had to kind of rush up early on. Taking a look at the break, especially for 2-year-olds, this immediately puts them in a disadvantaged position.
Yeah, she breaks in this race about a half length slow, and she probably got steady there. You can't see the head on, but probably a good chance the 3 came over a little bit on her and kind of pinched her out of there. But yeah, obviously Luis Saez has been there before, been in these situations, and you just sort of let her find her own stride, and he did that. She obviously has a lot of speed. She just didn't break cleanly from the gate. She brought herself into the race. He didn't panic, and she was much the best. And here, the final time, a 106.88 is very slow. Now, we saw some slower races earlier from some lower level claimers running early in the card, so this is not a race from a speed figure standpoint that's going to get a particularly strong number, but it's a starting point, and obviously a race where she could have run better had she broken cleanly.
A win's a win at the end of the day as Ready AP Richie, as we saw Christophe Clement on the phone there, getting the first time out victory with this filly for West Point Thoroughbreds and their partners. Got the whole crew in the winner's circle today, but Richie loved what Luis Saez did in allowing her to get into her stride. A nice debut from this filly.
Yeah, what was impressive about it was how sudden she was after breaking slowly and getting squeezed back a bit. To be able to pick up her horses that quickly the first quarter and put herself right back into position, as you can hear the West Point crew behind me celebrating as their filly comes back to the winner's circle. It's very difficult for a horse to kind of get pinched like that, find their stride that quickly, and be that sudden. So I think that was the most impressive part about it. She handled this field pretty easily. She won with something left. At the end of the day, I agree it was a slowish time, but there was a lot of things to like from the 2 Ready AP out of this race.
A winner at first asking. She will certainly have to face much tougher next time out, but a starting point. And hey, right, Andy, when you head to the races as a 2-year-old, sometimes you never know what you're going to get, and then you have to move forward from there.
Yeah, no, yeah, well, starting point. Listen, you don't want to go too gaga over a firster. You don't want to get down on him because it was a slow race, but we'll see. We'll see where she goes from here, and obviously a lot of happy people, and that matters too.
That's right. That winning feeling, nothing like it. As we say farewell for now to Andy Sterling. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
All right, look forward to it.
Great weekend coming up. Of course, July 4th and all of the exciting stakes action as we are 2 weeks away from the start of Saratoga. Opening day, 2 weeks from today, in fact. Countdown to the Spa continues. Stay with us on America's Day at the Races for more.
Following C and Happy Soul faced winners for the first time to kick off the Belmont Stakes week. Following C was in cruise control throughout and galloped home 6.5 lengths in front, scoring an amazing 100 Beyer speed figure. Happy Soul, who recorded the highest Beyer speed figure for a 2-year-old filly when breaking her maiden in May, came back and strolled by 11.5 lengths in the Astoria. Seeing is believing. 2 Run Happies, 2 freakish romps at Belmont Park by a combined 18 lengths. Run Happy standing in stall 1 at Claiborne Farm.
Now more than ever, it's time to get with the program because New York Breds start with an advantage. New York Breds run for a serious green. At Belmont and Saratoga, New York Bred maidens run for up to $75,000 and allowance horses for up to $85,000. And serious New York Bred owners can collect awards of up to $20,000 per horse per race in open company. So get back with the program. Seriously.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. 2-year-old fillies in the spotlight in race 5, and it went to your heavy favorite, the number 2, Ready AP, and she was ready, though maybe not off to the cleanest start. Finished up easily. 3rd win today for jockey Louis Sayas as well, and a jubilant West Point Thoroughbreds team as Tom Bellhouse of West Point standing by with Richie.
Yeah, with the Chief Operating Officer of West Point Thoroughbreds, Tom Bellhouse, whose phone is going off, so that's a good thing. Always a good thing when you and your phone's going off. Tom, obviously good group of people, excited about her. The word was out about her. What was the initial thought when she didn't break that sharply?
Well, you know, Richie, I mean, you know, like worst kept secret in Saratoga that this filly could run a little bit. But a lot of first timers, they don't get out of there super clean. Obviously, your heart sinks a little when you get left a step or two. But the fact that she seemed to pick up the bit right away, accelerated quickly, and didn't seem to be laboring when she started to reach those horses, which sometimes if horses rush up, they start to labor. He looked confident on her. Louis rode her perfectly, and she was as advertised. She was exciting, you know. Mr. Broman breeds a nice horse.
Chester and Mary Broman do breed a nice horse. How satisfying is it, though, right, when they learn this much out of a first start, too? Sometimes horses go wire to wire. They don't learn as much. She actually got some experience out of this.
Yeah, I think Christoph said it best to Louis. Louis goes, "I'm excited to ride her back," and Christoph said there won't be any problem with the gate on the next one. But it's absolutely, you know, it's all about education. These young horses, sometimes you see them in May and June, and then you don't see them go forward. And she reminds a lot of us of a filly we had named Best Performance a few years back with Christoph, who broke her maiden first time out and then ended up running second in the juvenile turf filly Breeders' Cup. And we're not sure what her best surface will be, whether it'll be dirt or it'll be turf. But you know, to have a filly like this and be a New York bred and be going into Saratoga with, you know, just an array of options is beyond exciting.
Always an exciting time of year, guys, heading to Saratoga, but even more exciting when you got a good 2-year-old in the barn.
Isn't that the truth, Richie? Thank you. And as Tom said, great to have some options, too. She's by more than ready as I welcome in Paul LaDuca joining me, 4-time Major League All-Star. And, Paulie, you just tuned in, you jumped on set, and you had heard the word out, too, about Ready AP as she was bet down, but she finished up nicely in her debut.
Yeah, my phone was blowing up this morning about this filly, that she could run a little bit. And, yeah, my heart sunk because I had used her in the early pick 5 and the late pick 5, but the impressive part for me was that not only did she pick up the bit, she was able to rate after that. She sort of rushed up, and then Louis sort of stopped on her a tiny bit. Then she sat behind the pace setter. Then he asked her again. She made multiple moves after being left in the gate. I thought that was very impressive. I get it. Sometimes people get caught up in the times, but sometimes you got to look at visually what just happened. And visually, we just saw a nice filly by More Than Ready, and she's out of an AP Indy mare. She's bred to run a long, long way, and there you see the price is $3.50. That pick 4 was blown up by the long shot that came in between horses in race number 3, because that double was not really that much considering, well, the one horse got taken down in the race before that, and the 3 was second choice, but look at that pick 5. Not too shabby.
I'll say 3,300 plus. Congratulations to West Point and all their partners on Ready AP. Race number 6 at $50,000 maiden claiming, 7 furlongs on the turf here. And if you're just tuning in, we are still fast and firm. There have been some light showers on and off throughout the early part of the day, but weather has really kind of settled now. There's no rain at the moment, knock on wood, as we'll get ready for this 6th race on the grass. But 2 weeks from today, I guarantee you we are just excited as all of you are, because we'll be at full capacity for Saratoga Racecourse opening day, July 15th, and single day tickets, I know a lot of you have been waiting for them, on sale today.
Yeah, so you're going to be getting a lot of phone calls from myself, and don't be giving me any phone calls, because I did the smart thing. I made reservations for every night of the Saratoga meet a long time ago for dinner.
I did that as well.
Yes, so we might be meeting at the same place. Got to think ahead. Yeah, the full capacity. Couldn't be more excited. Couldn't be more excited to be on site with the fans. And there you see the ticket information. Single tickets are on sale today. General admission $7 and $10, very reasonable. And obviously for the Run Happy Travers day, $25 for the clubhouse for the Travers is not bad, considering that's the electric day. That's probably one of, besides, you know, you have Breeders' Cup days, you have other days. I would say Travers Day is probably my favorite day.
I agree. Cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
It should be sensational with some of those 3-year-olds coming up a little bit later on. But opening week will be fantastic as well. We kick things off on July 15th with the Quick Call and the Schuylerville. And the highlight of that first Saturday will be the Grade 1 Diana. We'll have an hour of coverage on Fox, and really looking forward to that for the 83rd Grade 1 Diana, as Althika and Summer Romance both pointed to the Diana. They're coming out of the Justa game as well. And this adds a very interesting layer to the Diana, which is always a top quality race at Saratoga. Meanwhile, the Diana back in the calendar where it belongs to, Paul.
Yeah, and this is the last time they ran in the Justa game like you were talking about. And Summer Romance basically had everything on the own end by herself. But watch the gray filly duck to the rail with Mike Smith. And the 2 Charlie Appleby horses are going to decide this in the lane, and Mike just puts a patented ride. Sometimes horses really don't want to really go by and clearly go by, but she was able to win by a length, and Mike with a little pump at the wire. You never really see Mike get too upset. But listen, these 2 horses are going to go at it again. I was very surprised how sharp that both of them broke. You know, first time in North America.
They had a quarantine coming here too.
Usually they don't break that fast. And then, you know, Charlie had another horse later in the race that broke on top too. So don't worry about that. The worry is, will this horse bounce at all? I don't know. It was a pretty good battle last time, and see if it comes down to them 2 again.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that rematch in the Grade 1 Diana. Again, we'll have an hour on Fox. Looking forward to that show, as well as all of the exciting action for opening week at Saratoga. But every week is going to be amazing, and we can't wait to see, of course, the prestigious Whitney on August 7th. Some of the top horses in the handicap division pointing to the Whitney, including Maxfield, fresh off that Stephen Foster victory.
He's going to be very interesting, Maxfield. Those big, long strides, how he's going to take to the tight turns at Saratoga. We've seen some big boys lose. Obviously, the graveyard of favorites with American Pharoah, and you can go on and on. But I think Brendan Walsh is going to take his shot up at Saratoga. We'll see what happens. I mean, right now, the way he's been running, we haven't seen Mystic Guide. We'll get to him in a little bit, but right now he's the leader.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, both of those horses owned by Godolphin staying separate as long as they possibly can. But one owned by Windstar is Country Grammar, who won the Grade 1 Hollywood Derby last time out, has been transferred to the care of Todd Pletcher after his recent work, as reported by the DRF's David Grenig. According to Elliot Walden from Windstar, had some mucus, a little illness after that most recent work, so he will skip the Suburban and instead point to the Whitney.
Yeah, and he's the horse that won the Peter Pan in 2020, a horse that has a ton of potential, won the Hollywood Gold Cup, like Keisha was saying, on May 31st. So he's had some time, but he's had a little bit of issues away from training, but he's a very, very talented horse. Seems like he's sort of blossomed of late. I don't know if he's good enough against some of these other horses, but Todd Pletcher is one of those guys that can pull some magic, too, first time in his barn. So we'll see what happens when we get to that, especially when a horse gets – I like that the horse is getting down to Saratoga, okay? It's really tough to ship in to Albany and through that. It's a tough ship.
Throughout the summer, you can get some real humidity, some rain, some weather throughout Saratoga, and being able to be based there on those top-class training surfaces as well. Back here today, though, trainer Chad Brown and Klarovich Stables, the leading owner and trainer at the meet, have another chance here with evidence based on the drop-in class. We'll talk more about her and the rest of this Race 6 field after this.
What constitutes a great sire? Results.
Never Surprised, looking to go wire to wire here, and Never Surprised has got it won.
Versatility.
Tis the law, he's left the others behind. Tis the law.
A foundation for the future.
Olympic runner for the lead. Venezuelan Hug, wait! Venezuelan Hug! Venezuelan Hug shook free.
Constitution has it all.
Monmouth Park's summer season continues with live action Friday to Sunday. Home to full competitive fields and big paydays, Monmouth Park has returned as a place to profit. Average win payout up 44% in 2020 versus 2019. Average favorite price up 26%. Races won at odds on down 22%. Looking to make money this summer? Bet Monmouth Park.
Clift won the Del Mar Futurity. Too close to goal! It is Practical Joke in the preservation. And here she comes. Holiday with a front.
Elate is a mare that really probably doesn't need much introduction. She was a multiple grade 1 winner, earned just a little bit over $2.6 million on the track. It's always exciting to raise one, have it go on, be incredibly successful on the track, and then see them come back as brood mares. She very gracefully transitioned into her next role of being a mother. She was pure grit and class on the track. She has been absolutely classy as a mother. She's taken to her new role very, very easily. She's a fantastic mother. The Elate filly is by Warfront. I would definitely classify this filly as a spitting image of her mother. I remember Elate as a foal, and watching this baby, it's bringing me back a little bit to when Elate was a baby. Spitting image, very classy baby as well. I can tell that she's definitely going to follow in her mother's footsteps. She's classy, she's easy to work with. She, so far, taken every lesson in stride, has a really great start so far. Elate is a mare that I think for most Claiborne employees really holds a special place in our heart. It's really gratifying to see our horses go on and be successful, but to watch Elate blossom into the just powerhouse that she was on the track. She was classy, she was gritty, she was tough against the boys, she beat the girls, she did it all.
Leaving the others behind, Elate dominates the Beldame.
And then to see her come back and be a mother and just be so natural at it, it's like part 2. She'll most likely stay with us and go on and race under Del Schneider Silks, just like her mother did. She'll be here until summer of next year. During that time, we're going to be concerned with her growing, being happy, being healthy, and really developing into the racehorse that we think she can be.
And of course, our show, America's Day at the Races, brought to you as always by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. So fun to get a chance to follow some of your favorite racehorses in their next careers as mamas, including the mighty Elate. Meanwhile, in the 6th race here at beautiful Belmont Park, there's a look at your 3-2 favorite, Paul, Evidence-Based, who had just one start at Churchill Downs. She drops down now to the $50,000 level.
Yeah, that's your concerns for Clairevich Stable. I know they have a lot of horses, but this is a horse that just did not do any running. She sort of broke dead last, did not run. The blinkers go on and the drop for 50 for a filly they paid $375,000. To me is a concern. Second career start. Now she might beat this field, but I think she could be vulnerable in the spot of 3-2.
She just completely hesitated at the break, walked out of the starting gate, and then got a little bit keen behind the rest of the field too. So we'll see if she's more forward with those blinkers on. This stat, though, we have maiden special weight to maiden claiming. Second time on second-time starters on the turf for Chad Brown. Strong numbers, slightly negative ROI. They're going to take money, but really strong numbers at 6 for 17.
Yeah, and Chad had a winner get taken down earlier today in the 4th race, Public Information. A little bit controversial. It could have gone either way. I understand where they're going there. The one was the best horse, and Irad didn't need to do what he needed to do, and he caused an infraction. And I think the stewards end up taking that horse down because I think he ended up hitting 2 horses. They probably should have put him down behind the 6 too, because he swiped a 6 as well. But putting that aside, I mean, do you want to take 3-2 on evidence-based? Comes out of a good race. Demodog, Spitestern's Churl. I'm just wondering why this don't give her another shot in the maiden special weight company. Why the quick drop?
Yeah, it's a good point. As we look at the part of the entry that will still run, here's the 1A Synonymous. She will break from the outside.
This horse started for maiden 40, she did, and then her last 2 efforts at maiden special weight, she has not done much.
She is dropping back down into the maiden claiming ranks as we look at the number 2, Little Nutter.
Yeah, this horse claimed 2 back by Rob Caceres. I thought a very good claim, and, you know, sprinted last time, ran an even race, now back out to a distance of ground. I thought a player in here.
Stretching out a little bit. That 6 furlongs would be a tightener. Here's Mary Jane Chrome trying the turf for the first time.
Yeah, by California Chrome. We've seen a couple of them take to the turf. This is a Barkley tag horse that got bet first time out. They usually don't. So blinkers come on, and the horse is getting bet again.
Here's the 6, Adele Cat, who is taking a drop in class.
The first start basically at this level was very good. Then they jumped up to the maiden special weight with Lasix and just sort of ran evenly around the racetrack.
Know-How is in for the maiden claiming ranks for the first time.
Yeah, and this horse has shown speed. This is a dangerous horse with Gary Barber because showing speed at the maiden special weight level, this horse could be the horse to catch.
And the hot hand, Louis Sy, is looking for win number 4 today already. That horse is currently 5-1 as we wait on your favorite. Evidence-based, 3-2.
And there is your favorite, like you said, the More Than Ready. Filly, I have a Dane Hill Dancer mare. She's going to drop here and puts the blinkers on.
Manny Franco aboard, taking it right from the pony as he's continued to have a strong meet here too. Louis Cardenas will be aboard. This might be the one.
Yeah, it's the filly by Get Stormy of a Doc's Leader mare. You don't see many Doc's Leader mares. 26-1.
Big price first time starter as we look at Soupster next, who's trying the turf for the first time.
You know, Johnny Kimmel's pretty good on this move. He's 21%. I know he's like 6% first time on the turf, but he's okay with blinkers. This horse showed a little bit of speed on the dirt. I would not be surprised this filly shows up. They paid $185,000 for a filly by Speitster. Speitster stands for 10,000, so the 10 could be a sneaky little horse that might show some pace.
Out of a stakes-winning mare who did win a couple times on the turf, too. As we look at the number 6, Adele Cat, she was 35-1 and 29-1 in her first 2 starts. Today she's 4-1, but she is dropping back down to the $50,000 level. When she debuted, not the sharpest out of the gate, but she actually finished up really well to finish 2nd in her first start.
No, she did. She was flat-footed. In both of her starts, she's sort of broken flat-footed. It's not like she's gotten dead left, like you said. She just broke 7 out of 10, but she got onto the bit. I thought she had a good trip, and she's showing a little bit of courage going up the rail. You got to give her a lot of credit here. She finishes 2nd to the outside horse, but to go up the rail and to pass the gray horse, I give her some kudos for that. I thought that was a very good effort. Then they go up to the main special weight level. It just shows you. They ran that in 112. Then they go to the main special weight level. They run a race in 109 and change, and she just can't keep up. So back down to where probably she belongs, and you get Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, Jose Ortiz picking up the mount, giving her a good warm-up out there as she just seems to be back to the level where she does belong. The number 7, Know-How, meanwhile, has been sharp throughout all the preliminaries. She has a lot of speed. Louis Sy is keeping her with the pony. And again, he's looking for win number 4 today. We're only on race 6.
I know, right?
He was slacking on the other 2 races. I mean, what happened?
He has really taken off, really has. Ever since the maximum security incident and all that and the criticism, I thought he handled it with grace, and he has just taken off since then. We all knew he was a very, very good rider, but he's starting to get elite horses and
essential quality in the
yeah,
Belmont this year.
and I think it's because his aggressiveness. And the other part about Louis, there's not many jockeys that are very aggressive that can put a horse on the front end like him and can finish. He's a very good finisher. So that's what makes him, you know, wanted in the jocks room by a lot of these trainers and owners, because they know he's going to put their horse in a place to win. As the favorite now clicks down to 4-5.
4-5 on your favorite, evidence-based, as this one debuted at Churchill. The short comment just says slow start, which is exactly what happened. No real response from her since then. She takes a drop in class today. However, Chad Brown and Klarovich Stables have certainly been leading the standings here. Chad is currently 9 away from Christophe One, who just picked up another one with that 2-year-old winner ready AP. But Chad looks like he is well on to his 6th Belmont Spring Summer Training title.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And then usually when they go over to Saratoga, where we'll be heading in a couple weeks, he's usually the man to beat, although Todd with a monster meet last year, Chad with a monster meet the year before that. It's going to be very, very interesting, but Chad with another title. And Christophe, again, solid as can be, as usual. He's got 22 wins or so. And the Ortiz boys still got about another week of racing to sort out who's going to win that title.
And you know they're going to take it right down to the wire. They're so competitive. But this guy we're looking at right here on the 8 on your favorite, Manny Franco, he's 3rd behind the 2 Ortiz brothers, and he has consistently had a very strong meet throughout as well, riding aggressively, riding well, and keeping at the top of the game throughout.
Yeah, I would think, you know, obviously the 3 guys to me that have stuck out, and I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody. We know the usuals, Jose, Irad, and Louis. I really think that Jose Lascano,
coming back from an injury,
Manny Franco, and then Eric Cancel. Eric Cancel, he's stolen a couple races at big prices and had some big long shots too as well. He continues to grow. For those 3, it's unfortunate that Mike Luzzy got hurt and Kendrick Carmouche, but a lot of guys stepped up.
As we see Eric Cancel with a win earlier on today's card. Certainly most improved award to him. And look, this is not an easy jockeys colony to be successful in. You've got Hall of Famers, you've got future Hall of Famers in the room. You're running against the likes of people that are your idols. I mean, you look at a guy like John Velasquez. So many of the riders who grew up in the Puerto Rican riding school have said, the Ortiz brothers included, how much they looked up to Johnny. And then you come in, maybe a guy like Louis Cardenas, who was an apprentice, now a full journeyman, does not get that weight allowance. You've got to be competitive with guys you've looked up to for a long time.
That's the thing. That's crazy. You know, in our sport, in baseball, you're sort of looking up to a guy that may be in front of you, or sometimes I would look up to Mike Piazza. Obviously, he was ahead of me. You also got to compete against that person. So you got to be somewhat towing that line. Hey, I love you, but when we get on the racetrack, I don't love you.
Exactly. It's all about the competition out there, and that's what makes watching the Ortiz brothers so fun, too, as they came into the day tied. A couple more left to load for race number 6 as we kick off the late pick 4 here at beautiful Belmont Park. Here's Frank Miramati standing by with the call.
Synonymous, awaiting her turn. Guided in. All set. And they're off. Know-how is going to the front. Soupster has some early speed too, and this might be the one. Comes away a clear-cut 3rd. Synonymous on the far outside. Little Nutter moves up to claim the 4th spot. Then it's Evidenced Base racing in between horses. Adele Cat is next, and slow starting Mary Jane Chrome is the distant trailer. As Soupster opens up, it's a 3.5 length lead over Know-how. The opening quarter went in 23 seconds flat. This might be the one on the outside, inching up a closer 3rd. Then Little Nutter along the inside 4th. Evidenced Based has 5 lengths to make up. Adele Cat is next. Synonymous 2 more to Mary Jane Chrome. It's still Soupster in front. A 2.5 length lead over Know How. The half went in 47 1/5 seconds, and Soupster's lead is increasing. This might be the one, moves into second. Evidence-based is next, and down on the inside, Little Nutter. They're heading to the 8th pole. Soupster still with a 4-length lead. This might be the one. Evidence-based. A rally coming from Little Nutter, who gets off the inside as Evidence-based storms to the front. Little Nutter in between, moves in to be a clear-cut second. This might be the one is third. It's Evidence-based, winning by 3. Little Nutter was second. Third to This Might Be the One, and then fourth between an oncoming Synonymous and Adele Cat. The running time, 1 minute, 23 seconds flat.
The favorite, a winner, Evidence-based under Manny Franco. Second time out, as we showed that strong trainer stat, and just add another one to that tally.
Yeah, just Manny did the right thing. He said, listen, I'm just not going to get in trouble with this one. He saw Irad bull his way out earlier. It was like, you know what, I'm going to stay way on the outside. I'll tell you what, Jose Lezcano is just pulling every right move. He gave an unbelievable ride to Little Nutter, saved all the ground, split horses, got in between. He was just the best horse in here. Synonymous was wide, way back there, the 1A. Maybe check him out next time. He started running on there late, but no doubt those stats held up. Chad Brown, when he drops these horses, and listen, a quick drop, and maybe dropping this horse before Saratoga, maybe somebody picked up this filly, but she was much the best.
Another win for More Than Ready, as More Than Ready has his own little double here between Ready AP and Evidence-based, as that Stallion gets another victory here. Evidence-based on the drop in class with Manny Franco in the saddle. Looked like Soupster was going to try to take them gate to wire, but the final order of finish 8-2-9-1A. The 9, this might be the one. First time starter checking in third. Congratulations to the Connections. Manny Franco in third in the jockey standings, but there's still quite a few days for the brothers Ortiz, Irad, and Jose. Jose currently leading with 52 in the standings.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Ironicus. This graded stakes winning millionaire defeated over 20 Grade 1 winners. A Grade 2 winner and course record setter at Saratoga. He won 3 graded stakes and was runner-up in multiple Grade 1 events. Top runners include graded stakes winner Helium.
Repels the challenge. It's Helium in a huge effort.
The leading money earner at stud for emerging Sire of Sires distorted humor, Ironicus, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, brought to you by Naira Bets, where you can bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Get started at nairabets.com or download the app today. Evidence-based, she certainly had enough evidence as far as the handicappers were concerned. She was your heavy favorite and gets the victory in race number 6 at beautiful Belmont Park to kick off the late pick 4. Highlighted to victory by Manny Franco, Paul.
And there you can see her highlighted. Manny's just going to tip her out to the outside. The horse to the inside of Manny was the 2, and that's the horse that Jose Lascano tried to sneak up the rail. So your first place finisher on the outside, your second place finisher is going to split horses on the inside there, and it's going to run 8-2. And the 9 in here, first-time starter, got to give a little credit for a first-time starter at over 40-1, checked in third. Pretty good effort for the 9. To check in for third, to spice up the trifecta a tiny bit, but evidence-based, more than ready. Of a Dane Hill Dancer mare, Foolish Ways. Klarovich stables here is Manny Franco, Chad Brown, and there you see the 9 checking in and making that trifecta. $170 for 50 cents with a very chalky double, by the way. $3.80 for the late pick 5.
Yeah, 49-1 first-time starter, but if you're playing the late pick 5, we had a great pool here. It was chalky with a heavy favorite first-time starter, heavy favorite second-time starter in the 6th race. Let's see if we can get you some prices as we move along. We'll set up the race for the 7th here, 6.5 furlongs on the main track. It's a $50,000 claiming race. Scratch the entry, and we have another heavy favorite that you're going to have to get around, and that's Happy Farm. However, Mi 3%, the Chilean bred, comes off a layoff and does take a drop in class from Mertken Cantermasi, but we were talking a lot about this storyline, Paul, being in a slump, and it was so great to see in the first race on Sunday that Mertken, with turn of events, was able to get the W, and he said he can just kind of take a deep breath now, especially as we're heading into Saratoga.
Yeah, you can see there was Albee on the inside, the 1 trying to make a run at him. And Auburn Hills was your favorite in third. Jose Ortiz did the right thing. He put the horse on the front end, and Albee's the kind of horse that likes to be on the front end, but he got the job done. It was only a matter of time to see those silks cross the wire first and to get off to Schneid. It happens everywhere in sports. I talk to a lot of young kids and say all the time, when they're struggling and they're in the batting cage and this, that, I always say, you know what? Babe Ruth struck out a lot of times too. So it happens here and there. And they got a big shot in this race to come back and start getting hot with the 2 horse in here with your amazing Spanish that you must have paid attention to in high school, and I did not.
As turn of events comes into the winner's circle on Sunday in the first race. Got a chance to speak to Mertken, and obviously very happy to see things turn around. We'll see if Mi 3% can continue that trend. However, we're paying tribute to a very special horse, winner of the 1990 Suburban, the Suburban coming up this weekend. Of course, talking about Easy Goer and his magnificent career. More after this.
The ultimate accolade for a racehorse is to be named Horse of the Year. To be enshrined to the Hall of Fame is to achieve immortality. As a stallion, genetic immortality is defined in 2 words: breed shaper, plain and simple. 2-time Horse of the Year and Hall of Fame inductee, Curlin, is just that. Breed shaper, Curlin, the classic sire.
My dad loves the lottery. Growing up, he was always playing, so I had the idea to create an app that lets you play the lottery on your phone.
I think that was my idea.
It's called Jackpocket. It's like having a jackpot in your pocket.
I came up with that too.
Jackpocket allows you to play official lottery games on your phone. Just choose your game and pick your numbers.
I wasn't sold until I saw the actual ticket on my phone.
Was that your idea too, Dad?
Don't be a wise guy.
Go to jackpocket.com to get your first ticket free.
Hello, you've reached the offices of West Point Thoroughbreds. Please leave your name and your number, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Okay, starting to move now. He's 4th.
He's on the outside now. He's pressing him now. It's the 1, the 7, and the 6. He's on the lead. There's another horse on the inside of him. He's pulling away. He's going to win this race.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
It's Easy Goer in front by a length and a half. DeRoche takes up the chase second on the rail. And it's Tricky Creek next with Montubio coming to the 8th pole. Easy Goer in front now by 2. It's DeRoche in second, followed by Montubio, Tricky Creek, and Rampart Road coming to the wire. Easy Goer in front, then DeRoche. Easy Goer in front.
Easy Goer in the 1990 Suburban Handicap. Couldn't have done it any easier, as we have the Suburban coming up this weekend here at beautiful Belmont Park. In fact, this was the final start for the tremendously talented Easy Goer.
Yeah, I mean, his resume, this was his last start in 1990, but how about his resume in 89? He won the Belmont, then after he won the Belmont, he won the Whitney, the Travers, the Woodward, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and then the epic second place finish, the Sunday Silence, in the Breeders' Cup Classic. What a campaign 89 was. Yeah. What a horse Easy Goer was.
14 for 20 lifetime, of course, campaigned by that iconic Black and Cherry Phipps stable. Now, that Suburban might have been a tremendous start for his final race, but Easy Goer captured the attention of fans and the press right from the beginning.
Easy Goer, I think, was a popular name for the people to say, and you know, the New York press just hooked on to it. He still is a pretty prominent name around New York racing circles. After he ran the first time, I took him to Saratoga. I was pretty anxious to run him, and then, you know, then he won. So I'm walking back through the paddock, and the press kind of converges on me, and this and that. I said, he just broke his maiden. And they said, yeah, but he ran like 2 or 3 seconds faster than the split, which I didn't realize. When he started his 3-year-old campaign, he ran the Swale. You know, he won that, and you know, that brought him to up here in the Gotham, where he ran a 1/5 of a second off the world record.
Easy Goer.
He ran the Wood Memorial.
Easy Goer leads past 16th pole by 2, and Rock Point is second. Easy Goer has the lead.
You know, when we got to the Derby, we just got a little bit unfortunate that we caught that type of a track.
Sunday Silence wins this Derby by 2 lengths.
Be the Preakness.
Sunday Silence, Easy Goer, here's the finish. Sunday Silence wins it by a nose.
Belmont, you know, I was in the race to win the Belmont, not trying to keep anybody from winning the Triple Crown. That never went through my mind. And I wanted to win the Belmont not only for the horse, but for Mr. Phipps, and I never won a Classic, so obviously, you know, Shug was involved too.
It's New York's Easy Goer in front.
And he came out of the Belmont so good, I wanted to run him in, and we ended up, you know, waiting, but we ran him into Whitney. In the New York races, it meant something to us as being me and the Phippses, and races that meant something. I won the Whitney, and then came back and won the Travers. The fan base showed up at Saratoga, so I think that they'd probably gotten over the disappointments of the Derby and the Preakness, and it was here we go. It was a good thing, and you know, to get to Saratoga is a special place. The Travers is a special race, and you know, the fans showed up, and they showed up in our corner, and it made it quite a day. And Woodward would have been right when we came back. That was when they were the Breeders' Cup preview days.
This is New York's horse. This is America's horse. Easy Goer in front.
You hate to see a horse like that leave, but sometimes it comes time for him to leave. Well, he went in Secretariat stall and Bow Ruler, so you know, he was following quite a legacy there, and all that stuff is You know, it can be maybe a little corny, but it does mean something. I think that Easy Goer would have gone on and been able to prove himself. The longer he'd been in stud, the better he would have gotten. There was a lot of Easy Goer shirts. Every now and then I'll see one, and you know, you won't imagine how many people in a year's time will come up to me and say, I became a fan of horse racing because of watching Easy Goer run. Or Easy Goer was my favorite horse. You know, I almost want to say, man, that was 30 years ago. I need another one, you know. But he was very popular, and he was very popular with the people, and in times he still is. It's been a fun ride for me because of it, and took me to places I never thought I would be, you know, and still is.
What a horse, Easy Goer, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1997. Paul, you mentioned some of those big wins, a 9-time Grade 1 winner, but he's almost synonymous with his rivalry that he shared with Sunday Silence.
Yeah, and I think his name was fitting. I mean, you're a horse person that knows he never missed the board, okay? He never missed the trifecta, never run a bad race. But he was an easy goer. I mean, just the way he galloped was poetry in motion, and he had to run into a monster named Sunday Silence. And if you look at Sunday Silence's stud career, he has really made Japan racing.
Yes.
It was very unfortunate that we lost Easy Goer at the age of 8 because I'm with Shug. The horses by him would have gotten better and better, and he was such a beautiful mover, such a beautiful looking horse that you could have matched him up with a lot of different mares. But him and Sunday Silence to this day have some of the most epic battles. That Preakness and the Breeders' Cup Classic. The Preakness was one that Pat Day says he'll take for that one, but the Breeders' Cup Classic was an unbelievable race, and a poetry in motion type of horse. He was it was a beautiful to watch him run.
I very much agree, and it's too bad we wouldn't get a chance to see the offspring of Sunday Silence and Easy Goer rematch. It was not to be, but they certainly gave us some tremendous performances to follow and remember on the racetrack. Back here today at Belmont Park, there's a look at the 7 American Rule, as he's a long shot now in race number 7, coming up, $50,000 claiming race, as we welcome in once again Richard Migliori with us here in the paddock. Richie, who do you see pulling ahead as far as the physical goes in the paddock for this 7th race?
Well, Casey, it's just a really good-looking group of horses, hard-hitting sprinters, a nice allowance race here. The weather's kind of cleared out. It's turned really nice. I was able to go back full regalia with my suit back on, got rid of the overcoat or the trench coat. Let's start with the 2, though, from the Mercan Cantermachi barn. They got off of their little bit of a bad run the other day. Their horses have looked good. They've run well. And they have the 2 here, Mitre Porciento. I hope I said that properly. He looks very fit. He hasn't run since February when he ran a very fast race. He's a horse that puts himself in the game, and he does look fit coming off the bit of a freshening, a little bit of a layoff. You know, the brothers are here in the paddock. I spoke with them. They're very happy with the way he trained. I asked if Benji Hernandez had actually worked him because he's the rider who's been on him his last 3 starts, 2 of those being victories. And they said, no, we can't let him work this one. He's just a little bit too sharp, a little bit too strong for a jockey in the morning, so they stick with the exercise rider. He looks great. Maybe getting that 1 win under their belt will allow them just to kind of march on. The 4-horse Happy Farm. All of Rob Atris's horses are so well turned out. This horse's dapples have dapples. And I love the name, Happy Farm, because in about an hour or so, I'm going to be heading up to my happy place, my farm, and I haven't been there in over a week. So it's going to be fun to get back up there. Happy Farm, good meaning for me. Looks fantastic from a physical perspective. The 5 Clench. Rudy Rodriguez, another trainer. Horse is always really well turned out. Got a little bit of a sweat going on. It's a little bit humid. Like to see a sweat today. If you don't see a sweat, more of a concern than if a horse, if a horse is dry, that's more of a concern than having a horse get a little bit of a sweat on. And I like what I'm seeing from the 5 Clench. And then the 6 Town Classic, 6 victories, 20 seconds, 11 thirds. Gives you the impression he's a horse that's just not that interested in running by horses, but running with horses. Spoke with Safi Joseph's assistant trainer here in the paddock, Sabina, and she said he came out of his last race really well, that the pace of the race really was up against him, and they did. They went slow, very slow for good sprinters, 23-4, 47-2, and he kind of dropped back and ran on, and she feels like he tries hard every time. It's just maybe he hasn't had the greatest setups. You know, I never am a big fan of those many more seconds than wins. It just gives you the impression a horse isn't that crazy about having to get his picture taken, if you will. But Town Classic could not look any better, making a nice impression in the paddock. I'll get a look at them on track, and we'll be back and give you a bit of a report then.
All right, Richie, thank you. Town Classic, his last 9 starts in the money finishes. And he's a cool horse, Paul. He always shows up. He's an 8-year-old, but that's a little bit tough. He'll have to turn things around. Jose Ortiz, though, will be aboard. He's currently at the top of the jockey standings with 52. His brother, that man right there, Irad Ortiz, breathing down his neck, though.
Yeah, he is. And maybe we shouldn't count Manny Franco out. You never know. He could have a giant day. He's only 6 or 7 behind, which is incredible. Like you were talking earlier, Manny's having a giant meet. But the Ortiz boys right now, as you can see, Jose talking to the Safi Joseph charge. And this is a horse that's, I don't know. I mean, I get it. 31 seconds and thirds out of 51 starts. Pretty amazing. And 16 starts, 1 for the last 16 with 9 seconds. And this horse has done a little bit of everything, Acacia. Off the pace, on the pace. Got left one time, came rolling. He's hit the front end like 5 or 6 times, and he just sort of likes to run with the pack. Now, this was his last race when he finished third, going 7 furlongs. Lasix was back on. 2 starts ago, he was in the run happy. He lost to Firenze Fire and Chateau. That was a good field.
Yeah.
But you can see him here in third place. He's just sort of, I guess, grinding away, trying to get there. But that's what you're going to get out of him, that inchy grind. And that was 7 furlongs. Everybody's going to maybe have to come up short in here at 6.5.
Well, I think the thing with him, as demonstrated by that third behind Firenze Fire, is that he's just the type of horse, regardless of the level, that just kind of tends to run to his competition. And he's a great horse to have in the barn. I mean, he was finishing second for $25,000 down in Gulfstream in September. And now he's graded stakes placed. He was third behind Basin in the Sir Shackleton as well. No matter where he's running, as we see him alongside Safi's assistant, who Richie spoke to, Sabina Langvad, and she's overseeing Safi's New York string here. She rides most of them, if not all of them,
an unbelievable job
in the morning, doing really, really well with the horses that they have. And like I said, he's always right there. He's been great picking up checks. It's can he get the win here?
You're right. At 8 years old, he's got $350,000 in the bank, but only 6 wins out of 51 starts. He's a tough horse when you look at him and go, God, should I throw him out or not? Because he's actually in really good form. Seems like he's ascending a tiny bit. He was in for the $35,000 claiming tag 4 starts ago. You could own this horse, but at 8 years old, you know, I don't think many people will take a chance on an 8-year-old gelding. Now in for 50, he's in for the tag here. Actually, the whole field is in for the tag.
As we see the 3 Musical America, as it looks like they didn't have the blinkers on him. They had to get a set of the Naira house blinkers, so it looks like he'll probably come out last in the post parade. We'll kick things off, though, with the number 2 for the Cantamachi barn. That's Mi 3%.
Comes off a win. That was way back in February at Aqueduct. Beat Wicked Trick. It was in pretty good field. Lost to Chateau. A major player in here at 4-1.
Next will be your favorite, the number 4, Happy Farm, off that big win last time out.
Sharp horse, 10 for 25 lifetime, loves Belmont Park, 5 for 7. You do get Irad Ortiz Jr. and might be the pace of the race.
Got a 91 buyer speed figure last time out as Irad looks to move and tie his brother. Manny Franco, though, has another shot here. Here's Clench off the trainer change.
This is another horse that likes the racetrack. Rudy Rod dips in for himself, too. Owner could be a surprise here at 5-1, not 9-2.
Here's that 8-year-old we've been talking about, Town Classic. Last 9 races were in the money finishes.
Yeah, I get it, and I understand why the public at 7-2, but it's tough to endorse on the win end, but you have to put this horse underneath.
To the outside, we look at the 7, American Rule, who turns back in distance.
You know, the last time this horse basically turned back in distance, I guess last time it was in a non-3 because it was a mile race, but the 7 furlong race was not bad against American Power. Pete's play call, 25-1, half the morning line. This horse was 50-1 on the morning line.
And last coming out will be the number 3, Musical America. They did put a set of house blinkers on him, so he's got the proper equipment on, and will also be turning back in distance.
Yeah, and he takes the front wraps off. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but Joel Rosario, Charlie Baker owns this and trains this son of Malibu Moon.
And Joel Rosario going to be in the saddle once again, as we've often seen Charlie Baker and Joel team up for some wins together. I know, but they have a great relationship too. They are 5-1 right now. As we look at your favorite, getting a good warm-up under Irad Ortiz, Happy Farm had a nice win last time out, and coming from a little bit off the pace too. Yeah. In fact, there was a big long shot, 46-1 shot, who set the pace last time. Irad was patient with this gelding by Go Sapper, beat Coppertown, who came back to win with an 85 buyer speed figure next time out. Yeah, I love the ride, obviously, by Irad in this situation. He sort of sat behind the front-end speed, and then you can see him there. He's in between horses. He's going to start getting rolling here and wins this race. And T loves a fight, a horse that usually likes the mud a little bit more, but he's going to end up running second in this race. What you do love is he's the kind of horse that has shown a ton of speed. That was in the Jason Service barn. But he has a race way back in October of 2019, very similar to this, where he came from off the pace and was able to get the job done. And when he's in for 50 or 40, he's won by 7 lengths, he's won by 1.25 lengths, and you just saw what he won. So when he's in for this claiming price, he's usually a very tough customer. Rob Atras took over the training, got that big win with him last time out. This is the level where he certainly does belong. Keeps the status quo coming back here. And, I mean, look, you say, okay, he's in such good form. Why is he in for a claiming tag? He's 7. He probably doesn't have any other conditions to run at. But Richie, even money favorite, is Happy Farm right now. Can you see getting around him perhaps in this spot?
It's hard to see around him because he looks so good on paper and he looks so good in the flesh. But it is hard for horses to win multiple races in a row. Happy Farm came off a poor effort, came back with that big effort. He looks great. He's a very logical favorite, but I'm not going to pick a 6-5 shot. I'm going to look elsewhere. And I landed on the 2, Mi 3%, who I think looked really, really good on the racetrack. I thought he looked good in the paddock, better on the track. He's coming off a bit of a layoff, but the last time he came off a layoff was a winning effort. And I think there's potential that he is the controlling speed in this race. Happy Farm should be stalking. Musical America's coming out of long races. Clench is more of a bit of a closing type. I think that the 2-horse, Mi 3%, could maybe control things on the lead here, and he has been successful off a layoff in the past. The 3-horse, Musical America, he was late getting out of the paddock. They didn't have the blinkers on him. They forgot to put the blinkers on. They had to wait, hold him up. There's a paddock judge who makes sure every horse leaves the paddock with the equipment that they were entered for. So when they make the entry, they say this horse will wear blinkers, a tongue tie, whatever the equipment may be, and they have to run with the equipment that's been declared at entry time. He's very sharp, and the turnback might be really good for him, but I'm just not seeing a tremendous amount of pace. He may put himself closer, and with that foundation going longer, that could help him. And the 4, again, is a very logical horse, but I wound up on the 2. You know, he's 4-1, and I think there's a lot of reasons to like him, particularly because maybe he's the controlling speed.
All right, Richie, thank you. As Richie lands on the number 2, we'll see if the Cantromachi barn continues to heat up. Mi 3%. I was impressed with Richie's accent, too.
That's pretty good. Well done.
Spanish, yeah. Translates to my 3%, whatever that means.
My 3%? Never had 3% milk, so I can't refer to that. But
what is it? My 2 cents is like the
I guess so. Yeah.
So my 3 cents.
You know, when you look, when this horse got claimed for 40, look who he lost to. Lone Rock, who's obviously turned into a monster for Robertino Diodoro at the longer.
Chateau 2 back.
Yeah, beat Chateau, or got beat by Chateau, then beat Wicked Trick. He's just going in the right direction. Now the layoff, Richie mentioned this horse did win off the layoff and maybe could be sharp and could go towards the front end. God, I have a feeling the 5's going to run a big race here.
I remember seeing him when he won his first U.S. start in April at Gulfstream. I was still there because it was when things were shut down for the pandemic, and it stayed down in Florida, and he was 31-1 that day. And I have to say that the Sanchez barn at the time was going very, very well. He was a big price. He got a great trip, and he just kept keeping good company and running well. And I think it was a sharp claim by Mike Maker, a sharp claim by Mertkin Cantramachi. I mean, this is a horse who, coming in from Chile, really translated that form very, very well to the U.S., which is not always an easy thing to do, especially right off the bat.
No, it is. It's a very difficult thing to do, and it seems like he got better and better. Now, we haven't seen him, only 2 starts, 2021. Maybe he just needed a little bit of a rest, and there you see him going in. If he shows some speed and Happy Farm is on him, it's going to be very interesting what Jose Ortiz does with the 6, because if that adds to the pace, I'm telling you, the 5's going to come rolling late.
We'll see how things play out in the 7th race. We kick off the late pick 3 here at beautiful Belmont Park as we send it up to Frank Miramati with the call.
Town Classic will be the next one, followed by American Rule. 4-5 now on Happy Farm. Now it just goes up to 6-5 in the last click. They're in the gate. And they're off. Quick start for Happy Farm, who will battle early on with Clench, and outside of them, Town Classic makes it 3 vying for command. Mitres Porciento is 4th and guided a bit off the rail, just 3 lengths off the lead. The 2 trailers are Musical America and American Rule. Clench is the quickest and opens up a 1.5 lengths on Town Classic 2nd, Happy Farm at the rail 3rd. The opening quarter went in 22 4/5 seconds. Then Mitres Porciento 4th, 3 lengths off the pace while racing in hand. Another 4 back to Musical America and American Rule. They're midway on the far turn. It's Clench. Town Classic comes to him in 2nd. Happy Farm biding his time, just off the pace in 3rd. Mitres Porciento will have to go 4 wide, the half in 45 3/5 seconds. Happy Farm makes a 3 wide bid as Town Classic takes the lead. Down at the rail, Clench fights on gamely. These 3 across the track as they head to the 8th pole, and Town Classic leads by a 1.5 lengths. Happy Farm trying to get closer. Then Clench left behind in 3rd. Mitres Porciento is 4th. Town Classic very sharp, pulls away with authority. Town Classic will win it by 4 widening lengths. Happy Farm 2nd. Mitres Porciento finished 3rd in front of Clench.
After 9 in the money finishes, Town Classic finally pulls away to get the win today under strong handling by Jose Ortiz, who's now 2 ahead of his brother in the jockey standings.
Yeah, and I was a little bit surprised. Clench went to the front end here, went Manny Franco trying to steal the race, and the 6 Town Classic sort of just stayed to the outside, and your favorite, Happy Farm and Irad Ortiz, was on the merry chase, but you could always see that Town Classic's got the ears up, moving. Here's his brother on the outside as the 5 Clench starts to give way. As soon as Irad asked him, you can see he's a little high-headed, and you're sort of wondering, okay, is he going to wait around for somebody to catch him? Because that's what usually happens. But again, he fires a big shot, and this is the first time he's won in a long time since last year. But this was a convincing win. This might give him a little bit of confidence to be like, hey, I can win by multiple lengths here. He won by about 4 or 5.
Jose Ortiz kept after him. Richie, you talk about bicycle horses, and it looks like Town Classic is certainly one, but Jose well familiar with him to time it right today.
Yeah, those bicycle horses, if you're not pedaling, they're not running. But he was always in position to win this race. When the 5-horse Clench went to the lead, he kind of just parked outside his hip. When he took the lead, I was kind of like you guys thinking, well, is he going to get to wait and pulling up? I didn't see any of that with him today. He just went on about his business and finished the deal. Maybe, I'm not convinced, but maybe we were just a little bit hard on him, thinking he didn't want to win, and maybe he was just running as hard as he could and coming up second best that many times. Little hard to believe, but the way he ran on today, he certainly was not waiting on competition. I can't wait to talk to Jose Ortiz about his trip and what he felt about it, guys.
Looking forward to hearing from him. Richie, thanks. Town Classic gets the victory. The 8-year-old by Speightstown. You gotta love a horse like this. He just shows up every time.
Yeah, love it.
Well, there's another horse that shows up every time. Mystic Guide, winner of this past year's Dubai World Cup. Will Godolphin's hot streak continue? As we'll get a chance to see Mystic Guide this weekend in the Suburban.
Eclipse champion Blame. Among sires with less than 10 crops, he has more Grade 1 winners than any stallion standing under $100,000, including Grade 1 winners Nadal, Marley's Freedom, Fault, Abscond, and French Classic winner Singa, plus these recent standout performers. With success on the track and with yearlings bringing up to $400,000, this proven son of Arch is truly a gold value stallion. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
For 3 generations, the Bond Racing Stable has held to a simple philosophy. If you take care of the horses, they will take care of you. That guiding principle drives every aspect of operations at the family's Song Hill Farm and Racing Stables. From breeding to breaking, racing and retiring, our commitment to our horses is reflected in everything we do. Now you can join our Grade 1 winning team with racing partnerships starting as low as $3,000. Bond Racing Stables, 3 generations of thoroughbred excellence.
You're watching America's Day at the Races, brought to you as always by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Mild upset in the 7th race. It was the other Ortiz brothers, so to speak. Jose Ortiz aboard Town Classic finally breaks through after 9 straight in the money finishes. Jose Ortiz now leading the jockey standings by 2 wins as he's in the winner's circle alongside Richie.
Yeah, Jose Ortiz now a 2-win lead on his brother Irad. We got a little time to go, though, so you guys are going to fight it out to the wire. A familiar situation for you guys, 1-2 in the jockey standings.
Yeah, it's always great to win a lot of races, even if you're first or second. If you have a good meet and healthy, that's good. You know, 2 races is nothing. You can have a good day, but we're going to do my best, and I'm sure he'll do his best.
Irad injured early in the meet, so he missed some time. But then you had a great weekend. Maxfield, Latruska. Tell us a little bit about those trips before we talk about Town Classic.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was nice to be back on Latruska over there in the short rest. She was ready to go. Kudos to the trainer. He had it ready. And Maxfield, he looked amazing. I mean, much the best on the Foster. And we're excited about both horses. Hopefully they stay sound and we have a good summer.
Yeah, some very exciting horses. Now, this horse, Town Classic, he looks like he's been a little frustrating to ride. Gets there, hasn't been getting it done. So many seconds compared to wins. But today, it looked like he went on about his business.
Yeah, today he ran a lot better. I'm sure the class relief has to do with it. But yeah, it's a little tricky. sometimes when you hit him, he don't like it. Put the head up a bit. Can see I did a little bit of everything. I whip him to call his attention. Then I throw my reins at him. So I stay kind of up on the saddle, trying to push his head down because if not, he put it up. But like I say, I think the class relief had a lot to do with it.
Well, great job. You always had him in a position winning. Guys, that's what we talk about. When we talk about bicycle horses, you got to keep changing things up. Throw a rein, change your hold, maybe go to the stick, then a hand ride. Everything just to get a little bit of extra surprise, a little bit of extra reaction. And this man got it done with a terrific ride on Town Classic.
He did indeed, Richie. Thank you. $7.30 winner was Town Classic. And I love hearing Jose, and I read too, and a lot of the jockeys here, you can just hear how much they've done their homework going into that race, and things that Jose had noticed about this horse from having ridden him in the past, and trying to change some things up in order to keep his head down, keep him focused on his business.
Yeah, that's just knowing your craft. As you see the late pick 5 follow along, I think this horse will play a little bit bigger. A lot of people, even though this horse was 2-1 morning line, was trying to beat Town Classic because he's not a win machine, but Spitestown on the top side. Mercy Man Racing, Jose Ortiz, that was an awesome interview explaining, hey, listen, he's a high-headed horse. He really doesn't like the whips, and when I hit him, he got a little reluctant. So now you can just throw the reins at him, and sometimes that works. Hands and heels works just as good as a whip, and that's why he's a champion jockey.
Jose Ortiz using his strength as opposed to the riding crop there to get the victory with Town Classic. 8th race coming up next. Irad Ortiz has a chance, as does Jose Ortiz. As we take a look at the field, however, it's Joel Rosario on your favorite as we're going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. Spongy even money coming up next on the grass, as we'll talk more about this 8th race in a moment. When we come back, though, we'll look at the rematch for the ages. It should be a showdown in the Suburban coming up this weekend between Mystic Guide and Happy Saver. We saw them close in last year's Jockey Club Gold Cup.
America's most dominant stallion, with over 80 graded stakes winners and more lifetime Grade 1 winners than any sire in the nation. Recent stars include multiple stakes winner and Grade 1 victorious Valiance. And essential quality.
Essential quality!
In the sales ring, his yearlings topped both opening sessions of Keeneland September, including the $2 million sale topper, a breed shaper, a dream maker. Tap it, standing at Gainesway.
Resorts World Catskills, your closest casino resort experience, is so close. Stay the night and get your game on. Play live table games or thousands of slots. Resorts World Catskills.
Ready to go for a ride, buddy? I'm gonna miss you, Red.
Grayson Jockey Club Research Foundation provides the best equine research to treat the horses we love.
I missed you, old boy.
Dubai comes off the turn running on strongly. Dubai, he's got a 2.5 length lead. Accelerating coming to the 8th pole. Lido Palace is full out. Macho Uno's in deep water as they come down to the final 16th. It's Dubai and Johnny Velasquez. Lido Palace and Macho Uno. Dubai has done it.
Dubai in the 2002 Suburban, ridden to victory by John Velasquez for trainer Saeed Ben Sarour as Godolphin picks up a major win here stateside. We've really seen, though, a tremendous 2021 for that Godolphin Blue, though, too.
Dubai ended up being a very good sire. He stood at Godolphin for like $5,000–6,000. He was not that expensive. And they were waiting for him to get a Grade 1 win to keep him there, They shipped him, and boom, Fort Larned wins the Breeders' Cup Classic after they shipped him. So, yeah, the son of Dubai, Fort Larned, did get a Breeders' Cup Classic, but Dubai was a very good racehorse.
There's a look at the Godolphin Silks as we'll look to see those Godolphin Silks potentially in the Suburban winner's circle this year. Their chance is that horse, and what a chance it is. Mystic Guide, arguably at the top of the division, though we have not seen him run since this victory back at the end of March in the Dubai World Cup, where he pulled the upset under Luis Saez.
Yeah, he was dominant in this day. You could tell he's getting a tiny bit tired at the end, but he was so much clearer. I wonder if he was looking around or not, but we have not seen him since. This is obviously a dominant win. We talk about Maxfield. We talk about some of the older horses. He's definitely in the discussion and definitely in the top 3.
Big performance from him that day. Now, of course, the question is, coming back here stateside, there's always that topic, the Dubai bounce. You look at horses, I think, namely in recent years, a horse like Arrogate, who was so impressive, went over to the Dubai World Cup. We never really saw him run back to that. Then you have horses like Gunrunner, who won the Dubai World Cup, came back and continued on like he never left.
Yeah.
So that's where Mystic Guide stands for his first start since the Dubai World Cup. Trainer Mike Stidham saying they started back jogging, did everything kind of slowly, bringing him back to the races. He will have to contend, though, with the undefeated Happy Saver, who won an allowance here at Belmont for his first start of 2021.
Yeah, and Happy Saver obviously is an X factor. We really don't know how good he really is. I mean, he obviously undefeated racehorse. Started out at 7 furlongs to a mile and a quarter last year. I think a lot of people thought this comeback win wasn't maybe as flashy as people thought it should have been, but he still got the job done. And I don't know if Todd really had him completely cranked up.
Yeah, that's actually what Todd said right afterwards. I didn't think he was completely cranked up for this start, but you know what? He has bigger fish to fry. This was a comeback race, this allowance win. Back going a mile at the end of May here at Belmont. Obviously, sights set on coming back to a race like the Suburban, where we are going to see him next. He was pretty sharp that day as well. And he was one who'd been handled kind of carefully throughout his 3-year-old season, too. Didn't get started until what was Belmont Stakes Day last year. And he ran in the Tessio, then didn't go to the Preakness, then instead ran in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, picked up a Grade 1 win. We're going to see him rematch with Mystic Guide, as they were the 2 3-year-olds in that Jockey Club Gold Cup last year.
Yeah, and a familiar face in the middle at the lead the whole way around was Tacitus in that race. Yeah, Tacitus was the one that went to the front end, and that's the gray in the middle.
This was supposed to be the day for Tacitus.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. He was 3 to 5, but look at Happy Saver on the inside. He was loaded the whole way around the turn, and left-handed urging. Mystic Guide was about 2-3 wide most of the way, and Happy Saver was able to save ground. Now, has Mystic Guide become a better horse? I don't know. You could see that Mystic Guide is really trying hard, but Happy Saver, that was like his only 3rd or 4th career start. So is he really growing up, and is Mystic Guide caught up to him, or is Mystic Guide ascending as well? This is going to be very interesting on the rematch.
I think so too, because it is kind of a key point, isn't it, for both horses, with Happy Saver having won that allowance. Obviously, he's going to have to step up off of that win. Mystic Guide coming back from the Dubai World Cup. It's going to be really fun to see where they stand and get a chance to see them rematch. Of course, that is a highlight of this weekend. On Saturday, the Grade 2 Suburban. It will be the final race of the day, too. Race 10 of 10. We are loaded with stakes action over the next couple of days. On July 4th, we have the John A. Neruda as well, Grade 2, along with the Manila and the Dwyer on Monday in our penultimate week at Belmont Park before we head up north to the Spa. But This race will be an exciting one as we head down to Richard Migliori and check in with him. Richie, these two horses kind of at pivotal points, Mystic Guide and Happy Saver, as we get a chance to see the rematch. What do you make of them and the trajectory that they've taken now as 4-year-olds?
Well, you definitely have seen a huge step forward from 3 to 4 from Mystic Guide. I just think he's a horse that you visibly could see the physical prowess, the weight that he put on. He filled out in the right places. He went from being a high school athlete or a college athlete, if you will, to being a professional athlete. Where Happy Saver always kind of impressed me like that, and he has a little more recency. I do think he's taken a step forward from 3 to 4 too, but I still need to see a bit more. I think Mystic Guide is really taking that step forward, and in their rematch, I think Mystic Guide could get the best of them, but it should be a good matchup. They're just two really good horses, and it's a fun time of the year as we're getting kind of into the second half of the year, if you will. And Suburban, always a fun, exciting race, and we got a really good addition this year. We got a good addition here of a 1 16th allowance race on the turf for New York bred fillies and mares. And let's start with Electric Youth. Definitely has a turf foot. She did win in the slop, although every race she's ever run has either been in the slop or the mud. Has had a little trouble getting out of the gate at times. I spoke with George, who works for John Kimball, and they've had her out on the infield turf course, and he says she's really moved extremely well, like what they see from her getting over the grass, and she definitely has a foot on her that makes you feel like the turf will be a benefit to her. The 3, Panda Mom, she looks good. She's a Christophe Clement trainee. They all look good. She's going to have to run a little bit faster to handle the likes of the 4, Spongy, but from a physical perspective, looks terrific. Get some blinkers on today, maybe just trying to get a little more focus out of her. She has laid up fairly close, but kind of runs even, a little bit one pace. Spongy, she looks fantastic. She's best on paper. Probably gets the check mark here in the paddock as well. And then the 1, Chasing Cara, who could play out to be the speed of the speed here. She looks terrific for trainer Mitch Friedman. Gets Dylan Davis back, the rider who had won on her in the past, so a little familiarity there. Keep an eye on him as they head out to the racetrack. But certainly the 2 Electric Youths been winning me over slowly but surely here in the paddock, Acacia.
All right, Richie, thank you. Electric Youth stretching out in distance as well as trying the turf for the first time. Out of a mare who was 0 for 5 on the grass. She did hit the board one time, did produce a foal to win on turf, and does lure John Velasquez in the saddle. That's never a bad thing.
Well, it's not a bad thing. And going to try going long for the first time. Richie made a great point. The horse has never been on a dry racetrack. He's caught sloppy racetracks and was able to conquer one time. In her second start, she was able to get the job done. As you see Dylan Davis and Mig talking. Maybe Mig's going to give him some instructions in here and help him out a little bit. But, yeah, this is a race that's it can be tricky in some aspects. Spongy's even money on the morning line. David Aragona does such a great job. The race last time was a very good race. And if they would have pulled this race off and it was a sloppy racetrack, Spongy probably would have been 3 to 5, considering he won by 7 lengths, or she won by 7 lengths on a sloppy racetrack. So she would probably have been on favorite on even one. So you're wondering if the 3, Panda Mom, can improve. Here's Spongy's last race when she lost to Runaway Rumor, and she was just second best. She just came up short, and she hadn't really had a race since February 13th of 2021. You know, that race where she jogged, I don't know if she got a ton of fitness out of that race on the mud, but on this day, she runs a nice little second. That's her way on the outside.
That was a winner outside.
I know, that was a winner on the outside. She's the 3. The reluctancy to go by the horse in the inside worries you a tiny bit, but those 3 horses were clear about 6 or 7 lengths from the 4th place finisher.
They were all flattered when Runaway Rumor came back to win a stake next time out against Open Company with an 83 buyer speed figure. Yeah. Big performance from that one for Jorge Abreu as that New York bred filly now undefeated. We kick off the post parade though with the 5, Pure Bodie, always an energetic filly, the sister to Pure Sensation.
Yeah, and a horse that does have a little bit of talent and has been off a layoff since December and gets back on turf.
As she can always be a little bit rambunctious before the races. Looks like they are keeping her settled, though, as we check out the number 1, who'll break in the middle of the pack, Chasing Cara.
Yeah, this is a 3-year-old filly by broken vow. I would think it's going to be cutting out the fractions. Tried the first turf for the second time, but both times on the turf has shown speed.
Next, we'll check out the 2 Electric Youth. Got some good notes from Richie as far as trying the turf for the first time.
Should love the distance. Turf, I don't know if that's going to be the X factor or not, but you get Johnny V aboard at 10-1.
Panda Mom, the 3, gets a pair of blinkers on. Irad Ortiz aboard.
Yeah, Irad's been aboard her one time. She ran second 2 starts back. Blinkers do go on. Decent move for Christoph. He's about 12%.
Next, we'll look at your favorite 3 to 5 now on Spongy, who just missed last time out.
I gotta love the dam's name, Scroogey. Scroogey could be like a screwball, but 3 to 5 on Spongy.
Scroogey, trained by Christoph Clement, in fact. She broke her maiden going 1 mile and 3/8 at Belmont as her daughter Spongy is the favorite. They're fun to say. Here's the 8, Emma and I.
Yeah, Emma and I. 3 decent efforts. You know, drew the 10-0 last time out, and now back in with New York Breds.
Yeah, after facing Open Company in that starter allowance race last time out, here's the 9, Big Al's Gal.
Well, if you like Spongy, I guess you got to like Big Al's Gal. She was right in that runaway rumor race. She was off hills a little bit. She just had to steady a tiny bit, but that was the first time her getting on grass in a while.
And that's the field for the 8th race here. It's this Friday. You can earn a $10 bonus on your winning double bets with Naira Bets. To qualify, make sure you opt in at nairabets.com, then place a $10 bet on Belmont Park's first double on Friday, starting in race 1. And if your ticket hits, you'll earn a $10 bonus. For all you double players, this is for you. Visit nairabets.com for promotion details and to opt in. Plenty of great promotions over at Naira Bets you can opt in and take part in. As we have the late double coming up here, take a look at the 5 Pure Bodie, owned and bred by Mrs. Patricia Generazio. Of course, this is the half-sister to her sprinting star, Pure Sensation, who earned more than $2 million as a New York bred. This filly took her a couple starts to get going. Turns out she likes to go longer on the grass versus her brother.
Yeah, she ran into a runaway leader. As you can see, that horse on the front end opened up like 10 and some odd lengths. And sometimes when you're in chase mode, it's really tough because everybody's sort of drafting off you. And she was able to get first jump and she was able to hold on. I mean, I thought this was a good effort considering the horse in front of her opened up 10 lengths and the horse behind her was never going by her. Now, after that race, she came back and ran a decent 4th. And then Mark has put her away since December, so she's fresh. And at 13-1, she's not the worst 13-1 shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly has pedigree to suggest she'd be happy to get back on the turf. As we head down trackside, checking again with Richie.
Well, Acacia, Paul, you guys know that I favor inside position on this inner turf course, breaking in that kind of unusual configuration from the outside of the main turf course, have to run kind of over that course and right into a bend as they make it to the actual inner turf course. So I'm going all to the inside here. And I think the 2 Electric Youth is kind of touting herself that she's really going to appreciate getting to the turf. She's got the physicality, the kind of wider, flatter foot that we look for, the fact that I got the report that she's at least galloped extremely well on the infield course, which isn't the end-all, be-all, you know, but at least it gives you a little bit of a clue going forward as to how she might handle the turf. I like the way she looked from a physical perspective. She's dappled out. Johnny Velasquez, Hall of Famer, stays put. As a matter of fact, it's his only ride today. He comes in to ride this filly, and he rode her last time, 6 furlongs in the mud. It looks like she resents kickback. She's sharp on the track. I'd like to maybe see her settle just a little bit more, but I'm going to go with the 2 Electric Youth at a big price to potentially upset trying something she's never tried before. The 3 Panda Mom makes a lot of sense to me, and from a physical perspective, could not look better from a top barn. Gets Irad Ortiz, blinkers on, so some changes there, but you can never count Christoph Clement's horses out. And then the 4 Spongy is very logical. I think she's a very deserving favorite, and she gets Joel Rosario. And, you know, we've seen Joel deliver these rides at times on the turf where he just times it perfect and produces a horse at the very last moment. He warmed her up, and he's kind of got her standing out there quietly. Sometimes it's the best thing. Let a horse expel a little nervous energy, and then if they'll sit and kind of take everything in, give them a chance to catch their breath then. But it's all about the inside for me. but I'm definitely using the 2, Electric Youth.
11-1. I like it, Richie. Thank you. 3-5 on the 4, Spongy. As we welcome in once again a member of the team that you all are very familiar with a new member of the team, Maggie Wolfendale. Introduce us to your new co-host.
Well, my new co-host is Xandar, who, as you can tell, this is very much a practice run. He's pretty nervous, but that's because he's a retired racehorse that ran for 6 years, from 2 to 8. And Jose Ortiz actually broke his maiden here at Belmont when he was a 2-year-old in the fall. And he rode by me, and I said, "Do you recognize this horse?" Plus, Jose's on social media. And he said, "Xandar, of course." So that put a big smile on my face. But let's talk about number 3, Panda Mom, in here, as she puts those blinkers on. Just kind of a big cheater cup on her today. And while I've always liked her, she's such a big, good-looking mare. You know, I'm wondering if her just not seeing things through, the blinkers change. And I don't necessarily remember her wearing a shadow roll, which she is equipped with today. So I like the warm-up that she got as well out here, and she's definitely moves so much like a turf horse. She has that big high knee action to her. But maybe that equipment change gets the job done. As I want to talk about a long shot in Pure Bodie. Well, Xandar's not the only one that's a little bit nervous out here, but Pure Bodie makes her 4-year-old debut here off the layoff from Mark Hennig. And she has been one that in the past is very wound up, very edgy. She was way better behaved back in the paddock, which I appreciate. Now, she did break from post parade, hitting the track first. Jose was kind of just kept her quiet. Now, I don't know if that's instructions or whatever, but he really didn't give her much of a warm-up, just kind of jogged over to the backside and now just walking around as a circle before the gate. And you can see, as always, horses, when they head towards the gate, they do tend to get a little bit more nervous, as Xandar is very nervous behind the gate. Acacia, I'm glad we got a practice run in here.
Maggie, well done. It's not easy controlling an OTTV when they get back to the gates. That mentality switches on and they're like, "Oh, I'm ready to go." Maggie is such a boss, keeping Xandar together out there. He looks good on the track. He looks great. Coming back now as the Morley pony.
I can't even rub my forehead and belly button at the same time.
That's an image I didn't know I needed.
She's literally like talking on a horse while she's trying to control a thoroughbred, and pretty well done.
Yes, very well done. We'll see what our friend Xandar can do, as he can potentially. Paul is patting his head.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can still do it.
At the same time. You do have some coordination.
Yeah.
I think Maggie's got you beat with coordination.
1,000,000%. There's no way. Great stuff there from Maggie. And how this pace is going to play out in here, where is Spongy going to sit, your favorite, for Joel Rosario and Billy Mott. I just think the 3 might be able to turn the tables today. And the 2 is the interesting horse. Getting on the turf for the first time, going long, getting Johnny V. I think it's out of those 3 horses. I hate to say that, but I think it's between 2, 3, or 4.
The 3, Panda Mom, you mentioned. As far as my notes, back on April 24th, she did wear the shadow roll that day. I didn't see her last time, but that piece of fleece over the noseband to keep a horse's head out and down now keeps that equipment along with the blinkers on. Your favorite, though, Spongy out of Scroogey for Belmont. In at the starting gate they go. Here's Frank Miramati with the call of the 8th at Belmont.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Panda Mom bounces out very alertly to take the lead. Spongy is up close. So is Pure Bodie. And on the outside, Chasing Kara up and on the pace too. Just a length and a half off the lead. Big Al's Gal now takes the 4th spot behind that trio battling up top. It's then a big gap to Spongy. Emma and I is second to last. And Electric Youth at the back of the field. Onto the backstretch they go. And they're chasing Kara, who opens up a 2-length lead. Panda Mom under snug restraint second. The opening quarter went in 22 3/5 seconds. It's then a big gap, at least 6 lengths to Pure Bodie in third. Big Al's Gal is 4th. Spongy is next. Already more than about 15 lengths off the lead. Electric Youth is second to last. And that leaves Emma and I at the back of a strung out field. Chasing Kara rambles through the half in 46 3/5 seconds. A length and a half behind is Panda Mom, poised in second. A gap of 7 lengths. Big Al's Gal takes third on the outside of Pure Bodie. Spongy still with 10 to make up. Electric Youth and Emma and I. They're approaching the quarter pole. It's still chasing Cara. 3/4 of a length, 1:10 and 1 for 6 furlongs. They're swarming in now. Pandemom, Spongy on the far outside. Pure Bodie, Big Al's Gal is one from the outside as Spongy cut loose after Pandemom. And in the blink of an eye, Spongy takes command with a furlong left to go. Opening up, leaving Pandemom behind. Pure Bodie is next. And then the rest of them line up. Emma and I, one from the outside with Electric Youth. The story here, all about Spongy. Wins by over 6 lengths. Pandemom holds second, Electric Youth third, then Emma and I.
Spongy, your favorite, gets the job done under Joel Rosario. Certainly makes Runaway Rumor look even better, who was a stakes winner that she faced last time. But Spongy, it was her day today, and boy, was she shining.
Yeah, she did. I thought Irad Ortiz Jr. did the right thing with Pandemom. Send this horse to the lead with the blinkers on, a horse that's, 1 for 9 lifetime, and see if we could take the field to him. But the one and chasing Karen, Dylan Davis was having nothing of it and sort of set the pace. Pandemom always had that one's measure, but no one had an answer for Spongy as she just starts rolling in the middle of the racetrack. Diane Manning, the owner, got to be very, very happy. You can see Joel. Just a nice little easy little hand ride. Pandemom actually ended up holding on for second. So 3-5 over 7-2, your first choice over your second choice. And I want to say the 2 might have got up for third. It's very close for third place.
No doubt about the winner, though.
Yes,
it looks
2.
like the 2 Electric Youth trying the turf for the first time did get up for second, but it was Spongy and Joel Rosario. Xander's excited as we head down to Maggie Wolfendale.
There's about the 100th time I started an interview laughing with Joel Rosario. But Joel, Spongy doing with the utmost ease today. How much has she improved from her first start? You rode her on the dirt, breaking her maiden, to this third start now on the turf.
Yeah, she ran really well today. I mean, last time, same. We just got caught up in the last spot in the wire. She's doing well. And then today, I think she liked that soft ground. And then, yeah, she did really good.
How soft is it out there?
A little bit soft, You can see how they're like spinning the wheel a little bit, but they okay.
Well, Joel, when you're riding a horse that is doing it that easy, what's that kind of feeling like?
Oh, that's perfect. I like it that way.
Don't we all? Because I'm surely not having an easy time of it, but congratulations.
Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Xander didn't do too bad for his first interview, considering we did it by ourselves, Acacia.
I know. How good was Spongy, too? She just kind of stayed right alongside, too, without a pony. But hats off to Maggie and Xandar, getting some great stuff with that interview. Joel Rosario said it's a little bit soft out there. We did have some rain. The turf courses needed some rain, though, but she couldn't have done it any easier when she kicked clear.
Yeah, you got to love it. I love when horses win like this, and look at the ears, and she's not even being asked. And right there, I mean, like, okay, do you want me to do more? She swapped back to her other lead. She knew the race was over. You see Joel sort of like hit her again, go, hey, sweetheart, don't shut down on me yet. But wow, that was a smashing win. I know she didn't face much, but that was easily done and a well-done interview.
Absolutely. You'd see a filly with a good mind as she gets the victory there. Joel Rosario saying he loves it when it's just an easy victory like that. She certainly did it easily into the winner's circle. She goes filly by Hard Spun as it was 4-3-2. The 2 Electric Youth getting up for third with the 8 and 4th ringing prices after this.
It's total domination for Tom's Data.
He showed everything in that race. He showed tactical speed. He showed closing speed.
You've got the Giants Causeway element. You've got the Candy Ride right there. And you've got Smart Strike.
Tom's Data has conquered the Clark.
I'm very bullish on him. Your best horses of the last 10 or 15 years are not consistently as fast as this horse.
There's nothing more you could ask of a horse. To me, he looks like the whole package.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
You're watching America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part by Hillendale at Alapa. 8th race, it lived up to the billing. We were on the turf here for this New York bred allowance, and your favorite, the number 4, Spongy, did it easily under that man, Joel Rosario. She gets the 2nd win of her career, her 1st win on turf. She got close a couple times, and today did it nicely. I'll never forget, Paul, I have a little kind of personal story about Spongy. I had picked her in her debut. Ooh. On a day, there was a contest at Gulfstream called Beat the Expert, and I was 0 for the entire day.
Take Charge Rose, a nice horse, too.
And this was the final race of the day, and I was beating a dirty nose.
Wow.
And couldn't get a win. I thought Spongy was going to bail me out, and she was 15-1, but she turned out to be something good.
Yeah, right? And then today she wins at like 3-5 and like so easy. Congratulations. Hard spun out of the Smart Strike mare Scroogey. For a lot of people who don't know that is, I'm thinking it's a screwball. Probably one of the better screwball pitchers was a guy named Mike Marshall that used to play for the Dodgers. Not the hitter, the pitcher, but he was a screwball pitcher. It's a unique pitch. Not many pitchers throw it anymore, but that's a great dam's name. But Spongy, wow, impressive.
Certainly was impressive. Well, you saw Maggie on her OTTB. Xandar starting out with his 2nd career. And we talk a lot on this show about the importance of looking out for these racehorses, not just while they're on the racetrack, but after their racing days are over. Anna Ford and the team at New Vocations have been doing just that for quite some time.
New Vocations is the oldest and largest racehorse adoption program in the country. We started the program in 1992, and we've placed over 7,000 thoroughbreds and standardbreds into loving homes. These horses were coming from 40 different racetracks across the country. We specifically work with owners and trainers who are looking for an aftercare option for their horses retiring. We take in horses from all over the country, as far as California, Florida, New York. Our largest facility is here in Lexington, Kentucky, but we also have facilities in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and Louisiana. The racehorses in general are extremely athletic. When they come into our program, we've always been amazed at how much they love to work and they love to have a job. Thoroughbreds, normally when you turn them out, the first thing they want to do when they're turned out in the field is run. It's really amazing to see how so many of them want to run the Kentucky Derby at least 10 times before they stop and start eating grass. And so when they retire from racing, it's important that we keep them active.
Thoroughbreds are naturally athletes. They make tremendous competitors, even in other disciplines. We have horses go on to be successful in dressage, different Western disciplines, eventing, show jumping, you name it. Polo, we have horses who have gone on to do it. So really the sky's the limit for these guys after they're done with their careers on the track. That's really just the beginning for them. And it's a much easier transition for them than people imagine. They just take to it so readily.
So what we've seen over the last 10 years is a huge growth in the number of people, owners and trainers specifically, who truly do care about where their retired racehorses are going when they leave the track. And we have some great supporters, great owners and trainers that have supported our efforts for many, many years because they really do care about their horses.
For more information, visit horseadoption.com. Rehab, retrain, and rehome, the motto of New Vocations. The team there does such a great job in placing horses in new homes. You heard that in the piece, it's just how versatile these horses can be, and you love seeing them thrive in their second careers.
Yeah, I mean, being in the horse racing world, you meet a lot of people in the hunter jumper world and the dressage world, and you end up realizing that these thoroughbreds, they love their job even after life. And I think whenever we run the Rick Schosberg feature, he always talks about they live to their 20s. So sometimes their racetrack career can end maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, and they want to go on and do something. They become nice little hunter jumpers, and they could become great show horses. You see a lot of them in Ocala, a ton of them in Kentucky. It's a great, great organization.
Certainly is. Yeah, Rick Schosberg going to take the lead program here in New York, and New Vocations in Kentucky, and certainly hats off to all of the hardworking team. Part of that, very near and dear to my heart, is working with those off-track thoroughbreds to find their new lives after the races. But on the racetrack, crazy beautiful for Ken McPeak. She is just that. She's getting ready for the Delaware Oaks, and looks like she's going to be pretty tough in that spot.
The Run Happies keep winning. What a day at Belmont Park when a pair of Run Happies crushed the competition. TD and Rising Star Following Sea delivered yet another emphatic performance, sailing down the stretch to win by 6.5 lengths. Then 2-year-old filly Happy Soul soared to victory, winning the Astoria Stakes by a whopping 11.5 lengths. Price for success of just $10,000. Call Bernie Sams and book your mare to Run Happy, standing in stall 1 at Claiborne Farm.
Nobody wants to fall into a safety net, but when adversity or hardship presents itself, it beats the alternative. Since 1943, the Jockey Club Safety Net Foundation has been serving those individuals and families in need across every facet of the thoroughbred industry. Help us continue to be the safety net and catch those most in need. Visit tjcfoundation.org to learn more.
Come and get Army Mule, who's pulling away by 5 and finishing fast. Army Mule, ultra impressive in the Cartery, flew home, won it by 6.
At 10, now 20 here, we can hold on the done, 221, 210,000.
Get ready for America's biggest Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge qualifier Thursday, September 16th. The Canterbury Park BCBC Big Ten Tournament is a live money handicapping contest offering $120,000 in prizes, including 10 BCBC entries and 2 National Horse Players Championship entries. This zero takeout contest can be played on track at Canterbury Park or online. Visit canterburypark.com.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, brought to you by Naira Bets, where you can bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Get started at nairabets.com or download the app today. We want to remind everybody that you can earn a $20 bonus on your winning Delaware Oaks bet. To qualify, go to nairabets.com. Make sure you opt in, then place a $25 win bet on one horse in the Delaware Oaks at Delaware Park. And if your ticket hits, you'll earn a $20 bonus. Visit nairabets.com for details for the $20 win bet promotion and all Naira Bets promotions. On Saturday at Delaware Park, the Delaware Oaks, we take a look at this Grade 3 event, of course highlighted by Crazy Beautiful. She is 6 to 5 on the morning line for Ken McPeak.
Yeah, Mike Smith will come out in town to ride, and she was good last time out in Del Mar. I thought Mike gave the horse a great ride, and she does have a great name because I just love the grays. She is Crazy Beautiful, but this was, you know, Mike didn't even really hit her. He just sort of flagged her, you can see, and she's going to cruise to the front end. Now, she disappointed in the Kentucky Oaks. She sort of got eliminated at the start. This daughter of Liam's Map is probably where she gets the gray from. But if you look, she's run at Ellis, Churchill, Keeneland, Gulfstream Park, Santa Anita, and now Delaware. I'll tell you what, Kenny McPeak is not shy, just like Swiss Skydiver, of traveling with his horses.
You know, he had the Gulfstream Park Oaks back-to-back wins. Swiss Skydiver won the race in 2020 before catapulting into that sensational year. And then Crazy Beautiful, I guess there were questions at the time. How strong was that field? Was she going to back it up? Was a little bit of a wise guy pick in the Kentucky Oaks. But I think her Summertime Oaks win last time out really put her in the conversation. And this just looks like a good spot for her.
No, it does look like a good spot for her. Anybody that wins Delaware Oaks, you get put into the equation. Now, did she face anybody last time in the Summertime Oaks at Santa Anita? Remains to be seen. And it remains to be seen whether she's on the top of some of the lists when it comes to, you know, fillies and mares. She's going to have to improve a little bit more.
She might be just in the right spot to get the Delaware Oaks when she faces, again, the likes of Malatha and Search Results. That's where she'll have to take a big step forward, as those are certainly the top of that 3-year-old filly division. Back today at Belmont, we have one more race to go on the card. It's race number 9, a mile and a 16th on the turf, and this maiden claiming for $50,000. Full field to cap off the day as we head down to the paddock and check in with Richard Migliori.
Thanks, Acacia. Really interesting, very competitive finale here at Belmont Park, and the rain really did kind of hold off. I'm glad it didn't get as wet as I thought I was at the beginning of the day, but let's all go to the inside again, starting with the one, Hilliard. Phil Gleaves does a great job. I thought this horse ran like a horse that he was running with the emergency brake on last time. So I love the fact that he gets blinkers, because maybe that'll give some continuity to his run. Dylan Davis gets aboard. He and Phil Gleaves have had some good success in the past. He gets an inside draw. He was completely eliminated 2 starts back when he shied away from a horse and hit the rail. That kind of lends the idea that blinkers could be beneficial. And then last time, again, just kind of running a little bit in stops and starts. And I think with the blinkers, it certainly can help him. And he looks great in the flesh. The 2 Inspiration Point. He's a horse that has shown speed on the dirt. He does look to me from a physical perspective that he could handle the turf. And I like the fact that he's been up in Todd Pletcher, newly minted Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher's home base up in Saratoga, and he has a work over the turf. And I don't think Todd would be putting him on the turf unless he saw something in that workout that really encouraged him. So I always like to see that, and they have that ability in Saratoga to get on the turf a little bit easier than they do down here. The 3, Centurion, he really looks good. I think he's a little bit of a tough horse to ride. Eric Cancel makes his 3rd appearance on him. And from his appearance in the paddock, I saw his groom, who used to rub Artie Schiller, as a matter of fact, so we go a little ways back. And when I looked at him in the paddock, I said to him, graduation day, because that's how good he looks. Jimmy Jerkins, tremendous horseman, and this horse really looks the part today. The 4-horse, Declaratrice, he's sharp. I mean, he's really on the muscle. He walked by me, and I could feel the energy coming off him. 2 handlers on his head for trainer Tom Bush. And Tom's been doing well, you know, with the horses he has. They've been performing well. He has, 2 wins, 3 seconds, 3/3 from 19 starters. So his horses are running. Even if they're not winning, they're running well. And this horse has very high energy in the paddock, making a nice impression. And then a horse I thought was a bit interesting was the 9, Value Chain, making his first start for trainer Leah Giamatti. Claimed first time out for $40,000 off of Chad Brown. Chad Brown does tremendous work. horse came out of the race was Giroux, who was placed first in the race. Won the race last time. Declare a Truce was second. But this is kind of a big, thick horse that I think will really benefit from the race. And he's well turned out. And I think that with that race under his belt, he could take a big step forward here in his second start.
All right, Richie, thank you. Value Chain, a nice price at 9-1 as he now has that race under his belt. Let's see if he improves second time out. And sometimes, yeah, with that mile and a 16th on the turf, Paul, you see horses kind of ducking out after the break. And unfortunately, he kind of took the worst of it at the start and losing any potential position, though. At the beginning anyway, he just wasn't the sharpest out of the gate.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm trying to look back now into the earlier races. Giroux, who beat him last time out, right?
Yeah, that horse was the one that was placed first.
That was the horse that was put up. Actually was running okay late, even though Public Information was much the best in there. Got DQ'd. But Giroux did run a decent second place finish first time against winners, so that maybe that flatters the 4 a little bit. Considering 43-1 last time and you're getting 11-1. But look at Pletcher's stats. Made special way to mating claiming first time turf. We saw stats with that with Chad Brown and it paid off. Doesn't do it often, but pretty successful.
Tepid favorite at 3-1 is Inspiration Point. Hasn't raced since January, drops in class and tries the grass. I thought it was interesting. The dam was unraced and the only other foal was 0 for 5. One start on the turf and didn't hit the board. But the second dam, going back in the pedigree, as this horse sold at OBS April last year for $725,000 by California Chrome. That's a lot by California Chrome too. The second dam was a mare named Tiz Fizz, who was a graded stakes winner on turf. She was all grass. So there's plenty of pedigree, and of course California Chrome himself did win a grade 1 on turf.
Yeah, he did. He didn't meet much that day at Del Mar, but he won. He won. And some of his horses have been firing on the grass. And, you know, this is another one, just like before, Klarovich dropping a horse after a couple starts. And this is Rapoli and St. Elias stables. They can do this. This is not much for 50. And he's still a colt. Like you said, they paid a lot of money for him.
He's knocking on the door in the dirt in his last couple.
Yeah, and I think the blinkers helped him, and maybe going around 2 turns. So now maybe Todd's thinking, okay, going around 2 turns helps. Yeah, I get 1.5 turns here on the turf. We'll see what happens. There's your favorite, the 6, at 3-1. And Bailout is 0 for 22 with 7 second-place finishes. Now, we did see a Safi Joseph horse that had 20 second-place finishes get the job done. But Bailout actually hit the front in this race, and now in the Jeffrey Engelhardt barn, hit the front and just relinquished it late. And it seems like every time he's on the Belmont course, he runs an okay race. He just can't seal the deal.
He's now a 6-year-old by Arch, still trying to break his maiden. He runs well. He's banked $145,000 on the track as he's been right there, as you mentioned. 10 in the money finishes out of 22 starts. He's got hot riding Luis Sayas in the saddle. Jeffrey Engelhardt had him back in April and May when he ran for 50 and for maiden special weight. He's just tough to take at a short price given that record, though, isn't he?
He is. Really is. I mean, sort of runs the same way each time, although Louis put him in the game a little bit more last time, up on the pace, not much so much as a deep closer as he was before.
Tepid favorite at 3-1 as we kick off the post parade with the 1 Hilliard by Temple City. Have to Swamp Rat, also trained by Phil Cleaves.
Yeah, this one owned by Brian Hilliard, so I would think that's named after him. Son of Temple City, was behind Bailout last time, only by a few.
Excuse me, gets the blinkers on today as we look at that Todd Fletcher runner by California Chrome, Inspiration Point.
They ran a slow 1 1/8, but at least he was able to run a decent effort. Lost to the Reds last time. He stumbled a tiny bit at the start.
The Reds placed first in the Federico Tessio after that. As we take a look at the 3 Centurion for Jimmy Jerkins.
This is the one that Mig liked the most, looked well in the post parade, in the paddock. Pioneer of the Nile Colt, Eric Cancel for Centennial Farms.
Declare a Truce, second last time out.
Tough to do when you declare a truce, but this horse got a blinkers on, back on, and really improved last time out for Tommy Bush.
Might have just found the right spot as we look at the 5 Island Man.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Island Man. Hasn't really done much, but then John Samuels has been running some long shots that have been coming in the money.
Here's your favorite, still at 3-1, holding strong. Here's Bailout.
His Bailout just has some numbers to go back to, and especially some maiden special weight races to go back to that would win this. You just see second place finishes and 0 for 22. That's what discourages you.
Prince of Caps is making start number 10. Manny Franco aboard.
I thought Prince of Caps had a good shot in here. Last time out, sort of ran around the racetrack, needed that race. Couple races back, first time at Belmont at 43-1. I think that puts that source right there.
Here's Romantic Man, first time on the turf, the other one for Michelle Nevin.
Yeah, first time on turf by Mucho Macho Man. Michelle's been known to pull up an upset. This horse has been bet in his first 2 starts, so obviously been working okay in the morning, and you get Joel Rosario on a 19-1 shot.
Kind of an interesting one, I thought, for sure. Mucho Macho Mans, they can run on grass as we look at Value Chain. This one,
Tis Now Colt, they paid $250,000. Leah Giamardi dipped in and claimed this one from Chad Brown that did not run well, but Irad Ortiz Jr. sticks. I think that's the key.
I agree. Sticking around to ride the nightcap is Irad as we look at the number 10, Jedrick.
This one for Nicky Zito, going to get on the turf for the first time, going long for the first time. A lot of new things, but he does get a good turf rider in Jose Lescano.
Some interesting runners here for the nightcap as we take a look at the home of the New York Islanders, the UBS Arena. It's pretty imposing. Beautiful job they did on it right behind the Belmont Grandstand. And it really kind of fits within the theme of Belmont Park, too.
Yeah, and you can see, as you see that little thing across, pretty soon you'll be able to take a train right there and be able to walk right across into Belmont, and I'm sure into UBS Arena. Yeah, they put it up pretty quickly, and you're right. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful.
Nice to see, keeping in the theme with beautiful Belmont Park for the ones that are, I guess, the historians of Belmont Park, so to speak, the keepers of Belmont Park are many of the fans and race goers here. Nice to keep within that history, within that theme. As you take a look at where the starting gate is positioned, we talk about this pretty often, where it's positioned on the turf there when going this mile and a 16th distance. You kind of mentioned it as a turn and a half. And I think that that's kind of what we saw like with Value Chain last time when he ended up getting herded at the start, because there's a lot of movements for the horses going into some of that empty space. Look at where the gate is positioned with that dog leg going onto the main turf.
Yeah, there you can see. See, it's like about 200-yard run to the first turn, so you're able to get your position at a mile and a 16th. But sometimes if you don't get out of the gate well on the inside, talk to Mig about this all the time, you can sort of get toppled on over from the outside horses and get shuffled back. So it's key to get a good break from the inside, and it's not too awful to get an outside draw. You do want to save ground, but Richie would be able to tell you more. You'd want to draw those inside posts, but you got to break well.
Yeah, Richie, I know you are well familiar with breaking on the turf course in that kind of funny dog leg with the mile and a 16th distance. Tell me about when the gate's open. Where do you want to be? What are some things you need to avoid with that configuration?
Yeah, it's not quite as pronounced on the main course. It's a little more gentle of a slope than it is on the inner turf course. But, you know, Paul makes a great point. You still need to get your position going forward, particularly from inside draws. Think about when you're at the beach and the waves are getting higher and higher. When you're inside, if you don't go forward and get position, it's like that wave folding over you. You get turned around, thrashed around in the sand, turned upside down. It's the same thing with an inside post in horse racing. If you don't get your position going forward, that wave swallows you up. You get shuffled back. You lose position. And position is critical, particularly in these very competitive turf races. I think that there's any number of horses that can win this race, and it's about the trips that they're able to produce. I think the one Hilliard is a major player here. Dylan's going to have to make sure he can at least hold some position. I think the blinkers on this horse is going to help that cause. This is a horse, again, I watched last time, and he was running, to me, in stops and starts. Not a lot of continuity, wasn't staying in the bridle. Frankie Pennington picked him up that day. Dylan gets back aboard, and Phil Gleaves, very capable horseman. Former assistant trainer to Woody Stevens when Woody Stevens was in that string of 5 consecutive Belmont Stakes wins, so he learned under a master. the 3-horse Centurion, Jimmy Jerkins. This horse could not be better turned out. Looks fabulous. Really liked him. Almost picked him. Like I said, friends with his groom, known him for years. Even in the paddock, I said to him with some sincerity, graduation day, horse looks terrific. But I landed on a bigger priced horse that won me over, not only in the paddock, but in the post parade. And that's the 4, Declare a Truce for Tom Bush. This horse ran terrific last time. He looks fabulous. Talked to Tom about him. He says it took him a long time to get stronger behind, but he's really come on, trained better and better. Feels like he's coming into this race better than last time. And watching him warm up, I got to think he's going to run another big race. And 11-1 is a pretty big price. So that's where I landed, guys.
You're getting a nice price on that one, Richie. Thank you. Tepid favorite is Bailout at 3-1. Co-favorite, in fact, with the 2 Inspiration Point, who tries the grass for the first time. A wide open nightcap at beautiful Belmont Park, going that mile and a 16th. Always great insight from Richie, having ridden this course many, many times. We load in for the finale. Here's Frank Miramati one more time from beautiful Belmont Park.
Jedrick goes in. They're in the gate. One of the middle horses there opened the front of the gate. All set. And they're off. Jedrick very quick, as is Centurion. And on the inside, here's Inspiration Point sprinting right into contention. Prince of Caps is up and on the pace too. So is Declare a Truce as they line up across the course. It is Inspiration Point by a head. Centurion second, 3/4. Declare a Truce, a joint third on the inside of Prince of Caps, who now grabs that 3rd spot. Down at the rail, Hilliard is 5th, taking 4th, 3 lengths off the lead. Behind them, a well-held Island Man in mid-pack, a 1.5 lengths in front of Romantic Man. Bailout is reserved in the early stages, followed by Value Chain, and Jedrick, who broke well, is last. The opening quarter went in 24 1/5 seconds. It's Inspiration Point, the leader, 3/4 of a length. Centurion second, Prince of Caps on the outside in third. Then Hilliard tucked in 4th, just 2 lengths off the pace. A 1.5 lengths to Declare a Truce, followed by Romantic Man. Centurion is still pressing Inspiration Point through that half in 48 3/5 seconds. It's Inspiration Point, Centurion between, and Prince of Caps 3 right across the course. Bailout is starting to launch a bit. He's behind Hilliard and Romantic Man at this stage. Looking for room is Island Man, Declare a Truce, 4 lengths back to Value Chain, and Jedrick, 3/4 in 12 3. They're at the top of the stretch, and Centurion comes away with the lead. Bailout with a big run on the far outside. Weaving through traffic is Island Man. Second currently is Hilliard. On the far outside, Bailout continues to charge after Hilliard and Centurion. Hilliard gets the lead. Bailout's coming, but Hilliard will win it. 3/4 of a length. Bailout was second, Centurion third. 3-way photo for 4th between Prince of Caps, Island Man, and Inspiration Point.
Hilliard with the blinkers on gets the win today for trainer Phil Gleaves. He's been training up at Saratoga. Phil Gleaves, in fact, one of the first to set up shop at Saratoga every year, and this one was ready to roll 3rd time off the layoff.
Great job here by Dylan Davis. He always had this horse in a perfect spot. You could see that Centurion took over at the top of the lane with Eric Cancel. Now Dylan's going to go left-handed, and Bailout's coming from way out of it. Luis Saez decided, okay, the pace is quick. I'm going to come from way out of it today. And again, he just is one of those horses. Now 8 second-place finishes. Did he get the 3? Yes, he did. 1-6-3, and it looks like the 7 is going to hold on. Great call by Mig. Even though he didn't pick the 4, it seemed like he picked the 1 the way he was talking about Phil Gleaves and Dylan Davis putting the blinkers on. Good job by Phil Gleaves to have this horse ready, and a heady ride there by Dylan Davis.
Strong ride for sure over Bailout, who went off at 2-1 and picking up another in the money finish. But Richie, tell me about the trip that Hilliard got today. Dylan Davis piloting this one expertly to victory.
Well, I always look at races from a former rider's perspective, Acacia, where the race was won or lost. And to me, Dylan Davis won the race in the first eighth of a mile. When he got his position going forward, the blinkers had the desired effect for this horse, getting him into the bit, giving Dylan Davis more continuity. It's much easier to ride a horse when they run into the bridle more. And when he secured that coveted ground-saving pocket position, that's where the race was won. He found his room, coming out, turning for home around one horse, but saved all of that ground with cover, and he got it done with a terrific ride for trainer Phil Gleaves, who, again, he needs no introduction, a top horseman in his own right. And unfortunately for me, I boxed 1, 3, 4 in an exacta, and Bailout got me again for second, knocked me out of my exacta, so the ride home isn't going to be quite as nice.
That's disappointing. You know what?
Well, I got
I
got taken down earlier, which was probably the right call on the takedown, but that cost me a little bit of money.
That is the worst feeling, though, isn't it?
It kind of is the worst feeling because Mig he smelt the one. He knew the one was going to run. And then he changed his mind to the 4 and the 3. But when you look at Bailout, you're like, do you throw him in for second or what do you like to do? But that was a great call by Mig. He was on the one the whole time from when we went downstairs. He just changed his mind. But that's what makes horse racing great. You can have the opinion, but you got to press the right numbers.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That is very true. Thumbs up from Dylan Davis as he gets the win. And we'll have his picture taken aboard Hilliard in the nightcap there. We'll bring you prices and talk about what else is still to come throughout the rest of this week on America's Day at the Races after this.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 6 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include graded stakes winner Plum Ali.
But it's going to be Plum Ali, and she's now 3 for 3.
Sharp Samurai, international stars Shivaji and Birdie Queen, plus these standout performers. In the ring, his yearlings sold up to $260,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
This season, make Friday nights Monmouth Park nights. Live racing starts at 5 p.m. every Friday, featuring big fields and 6-figure pools. Unwind from a long week and kick your weekend off early. Take advantage of ample opportunities to pad your weekend bankroll. Fridays start at 5 at Monmouth Park Racetrack.
We're back on America's Day at the Races, brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. The final race of the day went to a 5-1 shot. The number 1 Hilliard for Phil Gleaves. Again, his first win of the meet. Dylan Davis in the saddle, and as we heard from Richie Paul, Dylan making the right call, saving the ground, getting this horse in the right position, able to tip out and finish up with a flurry here in the nightcap.
Yeah, and we talk about saving ground. Richie talks about it all the time, and that was the difference between Bailout. Now, I know Bailout doesn't love to win races, but Louis had nowhere else to go with the 6, tend to go on the complete outside, but Hilliard will get the job done. And congratulations to Dylan, Philip Gleaves, Temple City have a Smart Strike mare. Our Smarty Pants, the blinkers went on. Now 1 for 6 lifetime. And I'm surprised, you know, that 50-cent pick 5 is pretty good. They had a 2 to 5 shot that was told everybody in the world knew can run. You had a Chad Brown 3 to 5 shot. And in the last race, we had another 3 to 5 shot and a $12 horse, and you get 265. That's pretty darn good. Like I said, I think Town Classic played bigger because he's not a win type, you know?
The last 9 races were in the money finishes for Town Classic, and he was finally able to break through today. 264.25 for the pick 5 sequence. Hope you had it. Hope you hit. Hope you're ready to come right back in tomorrow. But coming up a little bit later on this weekend, we'll talk about the John A. Naira. They drew the field for Sunday, and we're going to chance to see some nice runners, including Firenze Fire and American Power.
Speightstown, Munning, Echo Town.
It's Echo Town for Joe Talamo, and Echo Town raced away. And Echo Town is drawing away in the stretch. Echo Town wins the Allen Jerkin Stakes.
A sire line so prolific, it repeats itself. Echo Town, new to Coolmore, America.
Now more than ever, it's time to get with the program because New York Breds start with an advantage. New York Breds run for serious green at Belmont and Saratoga. New York Bred maidens run for up to $75,000 and allowance horses for up to $85,000. And serious New York Bred owners can collect awards of up to $20,000 per horse per race in open company. So get back with the program. Seriously.
500,000, well done.
Audible let loose on the outside to take the lead. Audible by 3. Hofberg can't get him. Audible, no doubt about it. Audible on the inside turns away the challenger. Free drop belly. No confrontation at all. It's Audible to win the Holy Bull with style.
Audible on the outside races to the lead. Audible wins by 2.5.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
You're watching America's Day at the Races, brought to you as always by Naira Bets, where you can bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Get started at nairabets.com or download the app today. On Sunday, the Grade 2 John A. Naira, the field has been drawn. As we take a look at the runners in here, of course, highlighted by multiple graded stakes winner Firenze Fire. He and American Power will rematch out of the True North. What a cool horse Firenze Fire is, and how fun to have him back in training and back winning this year.
Yeah, Kelly Breen's done an unbelievable job. Laid him up for a little bit, but his last 2 races, he's come out firing like the old Firenze Fire, and I think he's just going to be too much to handle. As you see American Power trying to make up some ground, but he's got so much class, and American Power was trying and is getting better, but I wonder if Firenze Fire is just the type of horse that just does not like to lose on this racetrack. As you can see, 7 for 10.
And he doesn't like a wet track, but he's been certainly lucky, well handled, very, very well campaigned by Kelly Breen and the team, as the goal is to get him back to the Breeders' Cup this year. The highest earner by Stallion, Poseidon's Warrior, and he is a Florida bred. Only raced once in Florida, I believe, too, which is kind of crazy.
Right.
Because he's been keeping company at the top of the level. 9 career graded stakes wins, including the Run Happy and the True North, for over $2.4 million.
Yeah, great resume, and he seems like he's last like 3-4 years where he's really taken off. But the last couple starts since he's come back and in the Kelly Breen barn has been very good, and he's going to be very tough to beat.
Yeah, he is looking forward to seeing what he does have to offer. Take a look at the weekend stakes schedule, what we have to look forward to tomorrow, or excuse me, tomorrow's Friday. We hope you come out and join us tomorrow too, because it's a great card and a great day of racing. But on Saturday, we have the Grade 2 Suburban. That'll include Mystic Guide and Happy Saver in that rematch, along with the Perfect Sting. The Naira will be on Sunday, and of course the Dwyer coming up on Monday, special day of Monday racing for July 4th weekend. The Perfect Sting, though, named in honor of Joe Orsino's Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf winner back in 2000. This is not a graded race, Paulie, but you've got a Grade 1 winner in the field in Viadera.
Well, Viadera for Judd Mott and Chad Brown is a horse that is very, very sharp right now. This is the matriarch, won 3 in a row, and this is also a horse that is undefeated at the mile distance. So going to be a complete handful, 4 to 5 on the morning line. You can see he's bottled up here, but once he gets a seam, it's lights out and the game is over. And that's usually what happens when Chad Brown horses do find seams. So going to be very, very tough. And like I said, I would think being undefeated at a mile and 4 to 5 on the line, you might see maybe 2 to 5 somewhere in there. Now, Princess Grace is a good foe at 3 to 1.
Princess Grace hasn't raced since November. It was the off-the-turf Mrs. Revere that she won. That was around that time that they halted turf racing at Churchill Downs. So don't take that away from her. This was her race in the Valley View. 2 starts back, her last turf start, where she finished second behind Stunning Sky, who is a talented runner for Mike Maker.
Yeah, you can see as she hit the front end, she started leaning towards the rail, getting a tiny bit green, and just is actually going to just get popped at the wire, and it's just a brutal beat if you had her. What ended up happening was you could tell the rider started steering in. He was trying to straighten her out, and he got popped at the wire. But she's going to be the main speed in there, but she's going to really have to step up.
Yeah, that'll make things interesting. Of course, all eyes will be on that Grade 1 winner, Viadera, for trainer Chad Brown and the Perfect Sting. But a lot coming up, and we're 2 weeks away from Saratoga.
Yes.
If you haven't already, single-day tickets went on sale today. And do note, too, if you're hanging out in the backyard, no changes have been made. You can still bring your coolers, come and hang out with a bunch of friends too.
And don't forget, I know we only got like 10 or 15 seconds, $5 admission still here at Belmont to the end of the meet.
Yeah, a couple weeks left to go and a great weekend of racing still to come. We'll see you back here tomorrow for a full card of racing from beautiful Belmont Park. For Paul LaDuca, Richard Migliori, and Maggie Wolfendale, I'm Acacia Courtney as we look back at the day that was. Ready AP, sharp and ready in her debut. It was a 3-win day for Louis Saez. Happy West Point crew in the 5th race today, and in our featured allowance, Spongy lived up to the billing. She couldn't have done it any more easily today under Joel Rosario. An impressive New York bred turf victory. A lot more to come. We'll see you back here tomorrow on America's Day at the Races. We start at 1 p.m.